Hey, Schultz, you ready?
Hi.
Going live. Is this thing on? Should I do? Hey, sound guy. Should I do my entrance theme again?
I mean, I thought that was just on Tuesdays. I think you should come up with a new one for.
All right. Well, since I'm very excited about what we have tonight, I'm gonna go with this one. Ready? Dun, 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 dun. What's up, everybody? Sunday night. People rolling in. We got 62.
I don't know. It sounded like you're about to go into some national anthem or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
God save the Queen or something. I don't know.
Yeah. What's going on, everybody? Roll on in. Joel Samuel loves Sundays. Me too, brother. Me too.
Nice. We got 131 already. Just started. Oh,
KW.
KW coming through.
Hit us real quick. Yes.
That's awesome. Thank you, KW.
KW, thank you.
Like I said in a comment earlier this week, we're not doing this for money, but we certainly ain't going to turn any away.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
You want to send the dollars our way, we'll spend them.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, Pat has a juicy bit of gossip there. Kate has a crush on Minnesota Guardian. Is there any truth to this?
Oh my gosh, that's not true.
Okay.
But I went into his stream the other day. I told him I would donate $100 right then and there if he could do some high school algebra.
Says hello.
Listen,
Masshole.
we all know that the person that has Kate's heart is Joshua Lee Bradley.
Yes, actually, that is true. I love him.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah. Anthony M, what's up, brother? We got let's see who we got now. Peanut 411. We got the Dre Rich dude. We got People's Patriot in the house checking in. What's up, man? Toast. My girl Toast. We got Toast in there. Accountability for Vermont. Vlad. We got all the loyals here, plus some more. All right, word. All right, we already got a full house, 139. All right. So tonight, Kate, you want to start? You want to do yours first?
No, not really.
No?
No, because I'm going to go on a tirade and I don't cut it off the rails because I'm pretty annoyed with this whole exploiting this kid's death thing. It's pretty annoying to me. So let's start with the other thing.
All right, but I do want to say, just to start the show, I do want to say, we're not going to get into anything more than this with that part of it, but just rest in peace, Nomad. That's all I wanted to say.
It's sad,
yeah. Anything other than that is nobody's business. So, and that's where we'll leave that for now. But all right, so we'll go with what I got. So, with us tonight, we have her name is Natalie, and she has a YouTube channel, Socially Relevant. Some of you already know her. Some of you probably do not. Basically,
hey, Mitch.
Yo.
I'm sorry not to interrupt you. Switch the screen, bro.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I forget that every week.
Every week. It's okay.
Well, yep. Hold on. Bang. There we are.
Oh, there we go.
Yep. Okay. So where was I? All right. Yeah. So we got Socially Relevant in the house tonight. Her name is Natalie. She is is it safe to call you? Are you an ex-girlfriend? Were you talking?
No.
What should
I wouldn't say ex-girlfriend. I would say that he was pursuing me and to get to that, but that didn't happen because I came to know the real him, basically.
All right. So anyway, so this is somebody that was talking.
So a former infatuation.
No. It was.
You were the object of his infatuation, not the other way around.
Well, I would say that he was pursuing me as more than a friend. And then I came to know that he's a massive liar. So well, he's married. That kind of and that too.
Yep. Unchained. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. So we are talking about Enrique Morales-Torres. There it is. Yeah. And Chain. Yeah. So we're talking about Asalmo. So Natalie was nice enough to let me pull this up real quick. She has a YouTube channel, Socially Relevant, like I just said. She recently made a video kind of just talking about like some of the frauditors, and now you kind of used to be kind of into auditing and all that, and used to kind of support these people, right? And then you kind of saw the light, which a lot of people have been doing lately.
Yes, long story short, I currently live in South Florida. However, many years ago, when I was pursuing one of my passions, which is music, I went up north to the New York area, and I was in a punk rock band. I'm a lead singer and also a guitarist.
All right.
So I did that for a couple of years. And so then, I'm back here now. I'm doing something else now. But like I saw Enrique, which was around a year ago, and he's like traveling in that area. And he's also talking about the First Amendment. And the First Amendment is something that's been relevant to me because of the fact that I was a lead singer in a punk band. And, we use the F word and all that. And if it wouldn't be for freedom of speech, I wouldn't have been able to do that music. So it means a lot to me.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So basically, you guys were talking. You and Anselmo, whatever the hell you want to call him.
Yeah.
Were talking for about 8 months. You said.
Yeah, around that. And what happened was, like, when I first left a comment on his YouTube, I did want to talk about public things, which one of them is the First Amendment, and also the fact that he travels around New York. I love New York. And also when I was in the band, my bass player is from Boston. So I love the whole area. And
Yeah.
I cannot travel. Like, I don't have the money to get on a plane and go over there. Like, hey, the next best thing is talking to somebody that's in the area, and maybe you could become friends, So that's what happened. However, unfortunately, he continued to wanted to bypass the friend stage and go into this other stage. And I kept like resisting, and it became this thing it became this battle, and it was horrible,
Yeah. So I mean, it's safe to say that for a while you were kind of, yeah, he had you for a while. You know what I mean? Because let's be fair. Like, like we all here, like we know that Enrique is full of shit. Like we know that, but not everybody does. Like there's a lot of people that are nice enough to actually take somebody at their word. And think like what they're saying is true, and then they're not like a scumbag. But unfortunately, those people sometimes they get not taken advantage of, but they get sucked into it, and you get into something you think is real, you get into something where you think you can trust this person, and it comes to find out you can't.
Yes.
So to get right into it, because it's gonna be a while, because we got a lot of texts. I got about 50 text messages.
Yeah, it was quite voluminous. There was a lot there.
Oh, I guess Lisa Williams doesn't like us anymore. Nope, I'm not shutting up. Sorry. So anyway, so we got a bunch of text messages here. I think Salmo was on her payroll. That's probably why.
I don't know. I like Lisa, but
well, I don't know why she's telling me to shut up. What's this? AFA on your back. LOL. Thank you. Appreciate it. What the fuck? I love it. His floppy's almost hanging out. All right, let's get to this. All right. So we got a bunch of text messages, and some of these are pretty good. I gotta admit. Yeah. All right, so this is the first one we got here. Now, do you want to explain like how what you do for work? Do you want to get into that, or just so they know like what all those pictures are right there?
Yes, I am a brand ambassador for an athletic company out of California. So it's fitness related. So that's why I do have a lot of those kinds of pictures on my Instagram. And more recently, I'm also a brand ambassador for another fitness company that has fitness desserts. So that's part of my job, is to show my body. It's related to fitness.
All right, fair enough. The protagonist 808. Thank you. Aloha from Hawaii. Wow, that's cool.
Hawaii, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Did you almost said Ohio? I'm not sure how that happened.
Aloha from Ohio. All right. So I mean, here's. I
wonder if they're wearing a Bobcat sweatshirt.
This guy is like straight to the point, just like they're so hot, Enrique. Blah blah blah. All right. I just want to show everybody these because these I thought.
No problem.
All right. My computer is gonna be. All right, so yeah, I mean, he was. So one thing I didn't know, I'm not gonna like read every single word of these. Like, I'll zoom in on everyone, and everyone, if they want to go back after and read them, they can. There is like a lot to read here. So
yeah, it's a lot.
We'll be here all night. But I mean, there is some that I do want to read. I mean,
Now, can I just ask, and I'm sorry, but why
go
are
ahead.
you still talking to him? Because I see in this message that you acknowledge he has a wife.
Okay, I'll tell you straight up. Are you going by Kate now?
Yeah.
Okay, Kate. So I can tell you this. as you scroll down, and Mitch doesn't have some of these texts just for the fact that we had so many that I sent yesterday. But what happened was this: when I came to know he had a wife, I went to him, via text, and I brought that up, and he goes, "No, let me tell you." He goes, "We have an open relationship," and he sent me a text, and he goes,
no.
yeah, and he goes, "As a matter of fact," and he goes, if she saw how hot you were, she would be mad that I didn't have sex with you," and he said, "LOL." So with all that said, then later on in the timeline, he actually asked me to go over and sleep in the bed with the two of them. Then he talked about a threesome. So with all that said, basically, long story short, he told me she was the kind that was okay that we keep talking, like in the least. Like, do you feel me? Like, so in the least to keep talking, and at the most, he was basically saying she's the kind, they have an open relationship. So even if we had sex, she'd be okay. That he told me that. So with that said, yes, I kept talking to him.
So look at that. Like he's pretty. Was he like obsessive? Look at that. That's a lot of texts in a row with no answer. like holy shit.
He said he thinks about you before his kids. What a fucking scumbag.
Oh yeah. So you're the first one I think about in the morning when I open my eyes, like before my kids. That's so romantic.
Yeah. I mean, it was like I mean, he would speak in that way and everything. I didn't like get on that like in particular because it was just text, But like later on, I came to know that he says things, but he just like says things. They don't have any like he's not really in love with the person. He more wants something from them, and when he gets that, he's already ready to move on. That's what I learned about him.
Yeah. Thanks, AFA. All right, so this is a good text right here. All right, so I mean, this is the kind of person we're dealing with right here, and I mean, look at this. My wife, what does he say? My wife is going to ask me about my new tattoo, and I'm going to lie about it. I'm getting her name. You'll see.
Oh wow!
I am totally getting it.
Mm-hmm.
What a great guy.
Little known fact: Mitch actually got his wife's name tattooed on his ass cheek. That's how I ended up.
Yeah, the left one. Yeah, the left one. It was our first date. I went out before, and I got it done. And, I was hoping the first day would go well, and it did. So it paid off. But
he was going to get Marley Maximus somewhere else, but it didn't fit.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, that's you. Let me see. I can't wait. Yeah. So he was going to get your name tattooed. So what's the story behind that?
So now this is something he told me from the very beginning. I'm telling you, it was like this. I left a comment on his YouTube channel.
Someone's gotta turn their volume down on the stream.
Yeah, we got an echo going on here.
Cameras, you're irrelevant. We talked about you one time, and we're done with you. So
from the jump, as soon as you guys start talking, he's going to get.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a red flag.
So did you think it? So I mean, just to be like completely honest here, like I noticed you're saying I love you too and stuff. Like were you just kind of saying that because he was like, was it weird to you? What was the deal with that?
Yes, because he was. And the thing is that some people have so much charisma, and here's the thing, like on the one hand, yes, he's a criminal, but like on the other hand, he has a lot of charisma. So if he has somebody that is like that he wants, he will pour on the charm, and I will say, like, he's very good at that. So yeah, I was saying it back, when he said it.
Yeah, but you do admit though that like at one point, like you were like all in on this, like
at one point. When he was saying like, I like you so much, and then like you're so special, you're gonna be like the next number one person in my life, and so after that, when he's saying all that, I'm like, okay, because for me over here at the time, I was single, and yes, I did like him. Like, do you know what I mean? So
yeah.
Yeah. But like you weren't concerned when he said like I'm getting your name tattooed on me and I have to lie to my wife.
No, here's the thing. The lying to his wife about it, that came a long time after. So there's other texts that are before the one you just saw, when he was up there and he was traveling around and he was doing audits and he would go to New York oftentimes with Will. that's when he told me about the tattoo on his arm. And so it was way later that that text that you just saw, that was way later in the timeline.
All right. So this one here, this one he's actually talking about Josh Abrams, right? Is that what you said? This is the one where okay.
Yes.
All right. So you're so he's complaining about something. Let's see. I'm not saying to you what to do at all because I have a lot of respect for you, but what I'm saying is be careful and be mindful that you work a lot, doing a lot of output of energy already. Then he's saying, yes, babe, you're right. He's not. So this is about accountability for all. Yes, babe, you're right. He's not my friend though, babe. He lies way too much and lies to his subscribers. I'm not down with that shit. That's why I decided to stay away from him.
Yeah.
And you were like, well, I'm glad to hear you were aware then. I'm very glad to know to stay away from the kind that don't consider your well-being. Grateful to hear that. And then Osamo says, I helped him get his shit started just to find out so much shit from him. Then he was involved in a scandal of $800 that were donated to him. My channel has never been involved in any drama like that. I don't want him near me.
There's that magic number again.
Yeah, 800. 800.
Yeah.
Except for that time in that hotel room with Hot Tow Truck Girl, but you know.
I heard about that recently. Not from him, but
oh, that was a fun show when we were reading through that police report.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, Ansamo was involved in that, so
allegedly.
I'm
yeah,
sorry. I'm
allegedly.
Sorry. I misunderstood. I thought you were talking about the Encore, not the Motel 6. My fault.
Yeah, Julio. All right, let me see. This is a good one. There's definitely a couple in here that I want to read. I just want to this one is so you guys it seems like he spent a lot of time reassuring you that he wants to be with you.
Yes, yeah.
Holy crap.
It was a lot of that. And let me say about the previous text about the Josh thing. By that time, we had been talking for so many months that I really did feel that there was a friendship. I felt that way. And it was later on when he would do stuff and he would disappear for 3 days and then he would come back in a text and he did that oftentimes. And I'm like, well, man, now I'm feeling disrespected because you're saying that we're going to be together. I love you. But clearly when you disappear for 3 days, clearly there's a girl involved at some point. So that's when everything started to unravel because he was telling me this one thing on one hand and then he was doing this other thing and I'm a smart person. So I started to get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh my God. He told you his channel is your channel too.
Yes. He told me that from way back.
Doesn't he do that with everybody?
On a scale of 1 to 10, how obsessed is he with his YouTube channel?
Oh my gosh! Sometimes he would text me and he would say, "It's Mr. America." Y'all, that bothered me. That stuff that bothers me because we talked as two individuals, and then later on, he would disappear and be with Will for a long period of time, and then he would get back to me and say "Hey, it's Mr. America," like an asshole, you know. I think that's Will rubbing off on him a lot, you know.
Yeah. All right. So this is my favorite one, everybody. Out of all of them, she sent me a lot. She sent me a lot of text messages. This is my favorite one because this just shows you how far this kid has his head up his ass. All right. Look at this. All right. I don't like to brag or sound like I'm the shit ever.
Lies.
But I'm really, really good in bed. And I have a big dick. Laugh my ass off. And you're just wow. And you're ha. Well, I don't know what to say now, but I'm sure you are. Sex with me is even better than watching Auditing America.
Are you kidding me?
Auditing America is great.
Say that.
Oh my God. Come on.
Yeah, come on. It would bother me because he kept doing it not on one day, but later he would say shit like that again about Auditing America. And that bothered me because I was
yeah.
So what has spurred you to speak out on this? What made you want to do that?
Well, let me think back for a moment because I know I made that video a few days ago. I'll tell you. I think it was a number of things, and one of those things is the fact that he just moved to Florida, and he texted me one day, and I live in a certain city here, and he's like, I'm in your city, and I was like, yeah, well, I was like, well, I'm not gonna go out today, and he was like, okay. He goes, but the next time I come here, I want you to come out and meet me. So with all that said, now you have all of this, and now it's coming to a point where I'm either going to be on his side or I'm going to be on the other side. So listen, when now we had a falling out because he lied to me. He called me the day he was moving, and he we were on the phone and we texted later, and he never not once mentioned Will was going with him. And then later on, I found out from watching one of his videos on his channel that Will was there with him. And it's stuff like that that bothers me, because supposedly, quote unquote, we were so close. And then he left out a piece of information like that. He does stuff like that. He does it on purpose. And I'm like, for me, that I felt close with him, that's hurtful, because I'm like, it makes me question, it makes me wonder, well, God, how close are we if you left that out, and why are you doing that on purpose? So then it gets seedy, and then I become like, he's trying to pull something here,
Well, he's married. You were talking to a married man.
Well, here's the thing. Now, last year at the end of the year, he told me that they're getting a divorce.
That's like the playbook for cheaters, though. Like, I'm in an open relationship, we're getting a divorce. Like that's, I mean, you got to see through that, right? Like,
well, another thing is that at the end of the year, this was around December, he said he would fly me up to Rhode Island after she moves, and she was moving to Florida in December, and he said he would fly me there like a week later, and to stay with him, for a week or whatever. And so that's the serious thing that he said. So I don't think that it was a lie necessarily, because like I said, he told me they're getting a divorce and she's moving to Florida with the kids, with the 2 daughters. And that was in December. And he goes, I want you to come and stay, like, a couple of days later.
If I have a GED and a criminal record is a face, that's the picture right there.
Oh my God. Did he send that to you?
Yeah.
That's unflattering. Unflattering shot.
Yeah, I know.
I have this great picture up my nostrils where I look like I'm nodding off. Does this this must have just drove you crazy, right? You just wanted him so bad after this picture.
He told me it was an old picture.
Like, it's just the look of confusion. Like, what is going on right now?
We know. I mean, obviously,
where am I?
Enrique is married, right? And then he's talking to you, and then there's the other girl. Who are you aware of that one?
As a matter of fact, wait, are you talking about the one a few months ago, or is there one currently?
I believe that she was talking about moving to Florida with him. And I think AZ talked to her. AZ's in the chat there, but AZ talked to her. I believe that she was going to be moving to Florida with him.
Well, that's interesting. I never heard about that.
Yeah. All right. So this one's funny. I like this one too. All right. So, big freedom fighter he is. So, this. I don't care, because if these people kill me, I am honored to die for my freedom, my country, and for what's right. I really don't care if they do something to me. I've thought about it. At least I'm no sheep, and the only thing I regret is having only one life to give for my country. If I had 30 lives, I'd give them all.
God.
Like this guy is on the front lines of like Nam. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, come on, dude. Like, you're just going around with a camera harassing.
Right.
I mean, come on. Yeah. M16 cell phone camera, they're the same, right?
I'm 30 frames per second.
You know what's crazy? What's crazy is that I noticed when he spends a lot of time with Will, like, that is so bad for him, because he comes back from that talking like this shit right here. It's almost like Will's rhetoric gets into his brain, and it's almost like the only thing coming out of his mouth after is like 90% Will's rhetoric.
Yeah. Yeah. This one right here. This one right here. He's like, I have no college education. I do have my high school diploma though, and I never skipped class. I was always a good kid. I went through a stage in my life where I thought I was a badass, but nah, that's not me. I'm a humble guy. That's not. I'm just not afraid to say what I'm a guy that's not afraid to say what he thinks, and is not afraid to face bullies.
Yeah. You know what is sad, honestly? I think that if you watched his stuff from like a couple years ago when he just first started, I really think he changed throughout all of this.
No, he's always been a shitbag.
Okay.
That's indisputable. I mean, he has terrible domestic violence charges going back to 2010.
Okay. I'm just saying that, and that's true and everything. But what I'm kind of like specifically noting on is him as a person. Like, I think that back in the day, there was actually some part of him that might have been like possibly good at all. But like, unfortunately, when he spends time with like Will, I mean, he is horrendous afterward. I mean, he's almost like a different person.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. He's always, it's just like, I mean, and it's kind of like this with all the people we talk about. It's just like who they are in real life and what they portray on YouTube. It's just like two totally different things.
That's the thing. That's a good point. That's a good point.
And to me, once you have domestic violence charges on your record multiple times, you forfeit the right to be able to say you're a good person.
Right.
In my personal view,
circumstances with different women, and then he's married. He's talking to multiple different women while he's married. His poor wife, I mean, I feel bad for her because she was the victim in one of his cases, and for some god awful unknown reason.
Yeah, but wait a minute, Kate. No, don't go to that extent because they had threesomes, and she was. I mean, she was there and she was a part of it. She at any point in time she could have said no to the threesomes, and she did.
How do you know that?
I know that because he told me that.
Yeah, but I mean, he told you lots of things.
No, but here's the thing: he also invited me for that, and I said no to that. So with that said,
oh, you want to do threesomes with you?
Yes.
Oh.
He's like, well then. I mean, it's what he's saying. It's what he's. I mean, his word means absolutely nothing to me. And I mean, the fact of the matter is, I've read the police report. I know what he did to her.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's just the thing.
I mean,
I don't want to.
Yeah,
sorry, go ahead, Mitch.
sorry. I mean, I read that police report too on air for that show as well, and it was hard to read. It really was. It was disgusting. I look at what this kid has done with his life. It's just he's written off in my book for that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like Kate was alluding to is it'd be one thing if it was one defendant, one accuser. He said, she said, but the fact that it's multiple women and similar circumstances with each of them, multiple unconnected women who are all telling similar stories at different points in time of his behavior being very similar. I mean, exactly. It's like he loses any benefit of the doubt or any ability to call himself a good person. And I understand you got duped because he's charming you and whatever. Like I'm not gonna stand in judgment of that because I'm personally in my history, I was involved with a married woman for almost a year. She told me. She told me. Hold on. She told me that she was divorced.
Right. Exactly.
And that the husband wasn't living with her. And that the divorce, that they were in the process of the divorce. It was filed. They were separated, weren't living together, et cetera, et cetera. And of course, it all ended up being BS. So I'm not going to stand in judgment of you for that because, sometimes you want to believe things, especially if you're attracted to someone. Right. But the other stuff, I can't give, I can't stand here and let you defend him on the other stuff.
Let me say this. When I first started talking to him in that way, I didn't know about those police reports. I heard about those later. And number two, I'm not defending that. I'm not defending that.
I mean, even looking at these texts, like through all these text messages, like I read most of them. Like through all these text messages, it's like it's head games with him. Like he's like playing. You know what I mean? Like it's this whole like make up and break up.
Yeah, exactly.
Cycle with him. Like, say sweet things to reel you in. Okay. Then he does something wrong. You get mad, says sweet things to reel you back in. He does something wrong. You get mad and so on and so on. It's just, it's just this crazy cycle.
Yeah.
I mean, and the bottom line is that's pretty much, I think that's like pretty much all the good ones, except for, I mean, let's see. Yeah, I mean, towards the end, he's like, he starts freaking out on you, like, you're gonna ignore my calls. Okay, bye.
Yeah,
not cool.
Yeah.
Whatever. I mean, he was. To me, it just seems like he was trying to get laid, and he didn't. And I mean, I'm assuming he didn't, right? Did he?
That's not.
Not only did he not. I never ever.
Well, Kate, the reason I say it is because she's already talked about it on her live stream, so that's why I meant.
Oh, okay.
Not only did he not, but I never went out to meet him in person because by that point in time we were fucking fighting. Like, do you know what I mean? So we were fighting. And Kate, with what you said about the girl when he was moving to, I had never heard about this. This is the first time I hear about that.
Yeah, she ended up. She blocked you real quick, right, Mitch?
What's that?
Sorry, my dog is whining at me too.
Oh yeah, the New York girl.
Yeah, she blocked you really quick.
Yeah. She
See, like I
immediate.
didn't know he was still talking to her by that point in time. I didn't know that. I didn't know.
Yeah. So this is a good one right here too. So he says, my baby mom's has been giving me a lot of headaches. And let's see, he says, where's the other one? Let me see. Love you too, skinny woman. When you come over, I'm gonna have to hide you a little bit from my baby mom. She video calls me sometimes, and she hasn't seen me in person yet, or the kids because of Corona.
Oh my God! See, this is just
If
like
she sees you
I don't
here,
know.
if she sees you here, she will think we're fucking. Hold on, I have another one that shows the rest of that conversation. Hold on. Let's see, where is it? I know I have it. No, maybe not. But anyway, yeah, that so like just I don't know. That was all red flag. I understand it. You know, he schmooved you.
I don't.
You over,
I don't get it. I'm not gonna lie. I just don't.
yeah.
I don't get it.
But anyway, I'm glad you're out of it now, and you know I'm glad because it is what it is. But at least you're doing your own thing, and
Yeah,
that's that.
I think the one thing that I wanted to say with all this is when I originally left him the first comment.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off, but there is a Catherine in the comments that says she also has messages with him within the last 3 months. And then he told her the same thing about his wife. She's in our chat right now.
Oh my God. Look at this. See, this is part of the reason why I wanted to do this, because I had a feeling that if we did this one, others would come.
Yeah.
And that is already proven. Yeah. Catherine, he told me the exact same thing about him and his wife.
Catherine, you need to message Mitch on Facebook.
Yeah. Give me your screenies. Yeah. Pretty much.
I wanted to say just to put this out there that originally when I left the first comment for him, for me, it was about the topics that he talks about, which, and like I say, talks about what he talks about on his channel, and he says the words, you know, First Amendment and freedom and all that. So when I left that first comment to him on the YouTube comments, and then he wrote back to me and he gave me an email, and then we went on from there. For me, like when I reached out to him the very first time, it was about these other subjects. Like I really did want somebody to talk to about these things. And I did think from all his videos, I thought that he knows about these things and I thought he cared about them. However, unfortunately, he uses his position to do this to girls, to get them on a hook, like a fishing pole on a hook, and to fucking lie to them. And that's something that I'm against.
Yeah.
So, you know, and that's one of the reasons.
Catherine, if you want to come on the live stream, I can put the link out there. If you have any questions.
Put the link out there.
So it's wrong. It's like if somebody has 50,000 followers or 10,000, it's like it's wrong to use that platform to lie to girls.
Holy shit, though. This is like a freaking this is like a Cosby situation.
I mean, it's what he does. Like I mean, look at his videos. Like, look what he does. Like, it's what he does. He schmoozes. Like, he's a sweet talking schmoozer. Like, and he just, you know, these girls come on, they see he's got this YouTube channel and all that, you know, and he just, you know, he sucks them in and all that.
Yeah, but people should know that the majority of the auditors, and I'm not going to mention names because I don't want, you know, certain of those pieces of shit to go after me. So I'm not going to mention names, but I will say this. A lot of auditors are the exact same way that this person is. So my point is, if any of you guys are really have feeling about the words patriot and that you want to do something for your country and you respect people that stand for the country, these people don't stand for the country. And number two, don't get sucked into what they're saying because a lot of them are liars.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of safe to say that he manipulated you. I mean, you know,
I would say that he lied to me. I would say that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. He made you think that he was this person, and he ended up not being that person, I guess.
I mean, I never at any point in time thought, like, I never believed it 100%. I'm the kind of person that, like, I was going to look at what he's saying, and I was going to see for myself. And so, you know, yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate you coming on. I just wanted to, I don't know. I wanted to just kind of talk about that because just I don't know. You're not the first girl that I've heard he's done stuff like this too and all that.
Yeah, it just shows his character. It's another glimpse into the character of yet another frauditor who tries to act all self-righteous and that they're above everybody else, and they're just doing dirt all the time, just grimy nonsense.
Yep.
But Natalie, not for nothing though, we've all seen your pictures, the fitness pictures, your arms, obviously. You're obviously in great shape. If you and Anselmo ever came to blows, I guarantee that you would kick his ass easily. We don't advocate violence here. But it's something I would enjoy watching is seeing him get his ass kicked by a girl.
Thank you.
I'm trying to get Catherine. Catherine, click this. I'm putting the link in the comments. Click the link in the comment. You come on and you can talk.
She's busy.
If you don't want to, then you don't have to. That's fine.
Enrique's probably blowing up her phone right now. Don't do it. Don't do it.
He's been on block now for a few weeks now.
Yeah.
No. I mean the other girl in the comments, Catherine, who's saying
every girl he's been talking to, stay away from these people. I mean, seriously though, I mean, what are the odds that you have other people come in the chat happened to me too? That's so scummy.
Yeah.
So scummy.
He's probably using his YouTube platform as a victim pool.
Yeah, well, that's what that's what I was trying to get at. That, that's what it seems like.
I bet there's a lot of women out there that have the same story. I doubt they're watching us, the majority.
Yeah,
of
we're all
them,
waiting to hear from Catherine. I want to hear her story too.
Yeah, she just said she's at Walmart right now with her daughter, I think she said, and she definitely wants to reach out to us though.
Okay.
Get out of there, Catherine. There's COVID-19.
Yeah. Catherine, I'm putting my email in the comments just for you. All right. Well, yeah.
You realize you're gonna get spammed like crazy now, right?
I don't care. The only time I ever look at that email is if I'm expecting somebody to email me. So
I mean, if you randomly get
I put it in the video comments all the time. So
I know, I'm just being
we do want to hear from you, Catherine. Anyone else has, been, I guess, victimized is probably a strong word. But,
see, so this is all right. So I like this. Look
this right now. Yeah.
Look at this right here. So I like this. Catherine, the funny thing is I came on here to see what you possibly could have to say bad about him, and little did I know. So I don't know. I've seen some people in the comments saying that you're bullshitting and this and that. You're full of shit. But I mean, this is another girl that I think what we just showed, this other girl is holy shit, this guy has said the same exact shit to me.
Exactly. Exactly.
I mean, let me tell you something. I can go back. I'm not sure if I still have them or if I deleted them, but we dug into all of his criminal background, everything that we get our hands on of his previous cases, and we highlighted it all on a previous show, which I'm not sure if it's still up or not. But when you contact Mitch, I'm sure he's gonna have plenty of stuff to send you. Mitch, if you don't have it, let me know.
No, I have all the records because we just did that the second ever auditor showdown, and I highlighted his criminal record in that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Fawn, we can get rich, man. Yeah, I don't know.
Pyramid scheme.
See, I always assume gender. I always say man. I say man and kid all the time. It's just what I say. I don't know. But Fawn, whoever you are, yeah, let's get rich. Let's get rich real quick. Pyramid schemes for days. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for coming on. We're gonna. Oh, I would not believe this until she said the exact same thing.
You got any of those weight loss wraps? I could use some of those.
Thanks.
All right. Well, I'm gonna let Kate talk about something she wanted to talk about as well.
Yeah, me and Officer Oak. We got this one up.
Yeah, we can get into this. Natalie, you can hang out and join us in on this, or we could say good night, whatever you want to do. If you got time, hang out and join the chat.
Okay.
Well, we lost Kenny Klein somehow.
I want to get Kenny back in here for this because I like Kenny Klein. He's a good dude.
Kenny, come back. Anyway,
Kenny, come back. Blame it all on me.
So. Obviously, the news has been spread around, and everybody has heard at this point that Nomad Josh Russell did pass away earlier this week. So that is unfortunate. You can love or hate what he was doing. I hated most of it, to be completely honest. But he's a human being, and it was just really tragic to see somebody pass away so young. So immediately within an hour, these fucking auditors started with these goddamn videos, and it was enraging to watch. I mean, Josh Abrams, they haven't even, carted the body out of the freaking corner yet.
Yeah.
And Josh Abrams is up making an announcement about this. And that was just like, and I even said something to Josh afterwards, like, you're really going to fucking do that? Can you imagine if your father, brother, uncle, friend, boyfriend dies and you hear about it from Josh fucking Abrams?
And you know what? Yeah, and you know what pissed me off too is like, all right, and this is I'll be the first to say I'm a fucking idiot for thinking this was going to happen. But I figured, I heard Nomad died, right? And I figured, all right, everything gets put aside now. I messaged Josh Abrams thinking that he already knows about it, right? Because I figured he knew about it. I guess he didn't. And I'm like, hey, heard about Nomad, blah, blah, blah. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I heard that he passed away. He's like, passed away. And I'm like, whoa, dude. Like, hey, listen, fuck all the YouTube shit. This isn't for that. Like, I thought you knew. I just wanted to, just be like, I'm sorry it happened, because I know we hung out with him here, whatever. Right? Because that's how it always has been with me. Like, no matter, and that's how I think it should be, is no matter what beef you have with anybody, once someone dies, like, you put all that aside just for a minute, and you be respectful about it. Mm-hmm. He goes, and he's like, oh yeah, I'd really appreciate it if you guys had put him on blast, for his family. I'm like, yeah, nobody should. Like nobody should be putting anything on YouTube about it. No one's business.
He should have never fucking told him a goddamn thing.
Oh, absolutely. And that's why I started with this, the fact that I'm a fucking idiot for thinking that he would actually, agree with me on this. But he goes, yeah, don't put anything, don't put him on blast. I go, of course I'm not gonna put him on blast. I was like, you don't either. Like, nobody should. Right? He's like, no, I'm not gonna. Not even 5 minutes later, boom, alive, Nomad, dead. Like, come on, dude. Like, what an asshole. He just, he just had to be the first one. He had to be the one to break the story, and it was pathetic.
And it's not a story. That's somebody's life.
Well, to him,
his credit, he put it on private, and he didn't commence with the e-begging right away. So I will give him that. However, then we have just out of the woodwork, like freaking cockroaches. All these people coming out, and I cannot imagine the amount of friends that this guy had after he died, because they sure as fuck weren't there when he was alive. We've got Earl, News Now Houston, that came out, rest in peace. You shit on him all the time, David. Fuck yourself. Patty has now put out a video about it. Patty, we have video of him literally burning the guy with cigarettes while he was nodding out. Patty, you can go fuck yourself twice, because for all intents and purposes, not only did you not help your friend, you helped him fucking die. Go fuck yourself. Now we've got Texas Sheepdog, who's raising money. How many GoFundMes? Oh, you've been keeping track of this too. How many GoFundMes are out there right now?
A lot, right?
I think it's
I have no idea.
It's two GoFundMe. All right, so it's two GoFundMes. There's a GoFundMe from Texas Sheepdog. There's a GoFundMe from I think it's his cousin. Or is his cousin? I don't know. Nomad's cousin.
She calls herself his sister, but it's really his cousin. Yep.
And then there's a PayPal from somebody else. Who the hell is it? From Jamie Earp from Mass Exposure.
Yeah, Jamie Urban. Yep.
Yep. So there's three that I know of.
And of those three, how many do you think money will actually go to his family?
So if I had to pick one, like if you're like, all right, here's the three. If you have to pick one that is legit, I think I would have to go with Jamie Urban's.
From what I've heard,
but I don't want to pick any of them.
From what I've heard, and I have what I have dubbed like the watchdog community. People that I know are legitimate. They do their homework, the research. They're good people. They have told me, I've seen that allegedly Jamie is actually sending the money to Josh's girlfriend and his children. So to that credit, yeah, that seems to be the most legitimate. The rest of it, I mean, it is sketchy as hell if you can't even come together and consolidate enough to have just one actual, campaign fundraiser, or whatever you want to call it. When there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like there's a problem there. There's a disconnect, and it's extremely suspicious. And the last thing that you should ever be thinking about after somebody passes away is how to make money off of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
Are you kidding me?
I don't know. I just for all these people, and I don't know everybody. A lot of different people went live after this happened with the news, but just from like my perspective, like if I were to go live with something like that, like there's no reason to other than like, oh man, this is gonna bring in views. Like you don't need to go on a live and be like, oh, I just want to pay my respect. Like, I don't know. I just don't agree with that.
You're not paying any respect. It's disrespectful. Okay, people are dying of. Sorry, I almost overstepped it. People are dying all the time. Okay, like for everyone that dies, you don't go up and do a live stream about it. He has a little bit of notoriety. People know who he is. There is nothing respectful about then going up and going, I need to live stream about this.
Yeah.
It's because you know people are going to click on it. You know people are going to watch and fuck you. We knew since that morning, guys. We knew pretty quickly after it happened. And I was sad about it, just the loss of human life. If you're still breathing, you still have a chance to fix your life and change your circumstances. Until you take that last breath, there is hope. No matter who it is, it saddens me when that hope is extinguished. It just does.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that I'm going to go up and then live stream about it. That's insane. And it got to the point where, we had put something on our community page, like, yes, we're aware of it, because people are commenting and messaging, hey, did you hear this happen? It's like, we don't want to ignore it at this point. It's not that it isn't. It's always, important if somebody passes away, but it's not our business. And it just absolutely turns my stomach. The amount of people that immediately jumped on this, like it's news. It's not news. It's a goddamn
Like it was a
tragedy.
big story, like you said, and it's not a story, but that's what it was. That's what it seemed like to me. Like everybody was just hopping on, like, oh, this is gonna be, this is gotta get on quick. This is good, and that's just fucked up. It really is.
What got me is Josh even admitted himself. He was like, the last time I talked to Nomad, I yelled at him, and I never helped him when I was, when he was alive.
I mean,
And
Josh is vicious with the trying to get money from his channel. So
yeah, like he knew that he had no right.
About,
like
AFA, the other Josh.
Yeah, that's what he like. Josh knows that he had no connection. He wasn't even nice to the kid. Like the respectful thing to do would have been to just shut your mouth.
Yeah. Walter, yeah, I know. Stupid me. I thought he had already known because it was like the whole day we had known, and I figured everybody already knew, but stupid me, he didn't. So yeah.
I can't believe I have to be the one to tell you this, but never tell that guy anything.
Yeah, I know that.
But in general, it just blows my mind the lack of absolute respect and empathy that these people have. And it really is just, what's going to get views to my channel? What's going to get views to my channel? And every single one of them, they're like, there are 200 people right now getting all fucking giddy over it. People that have nothing to do with anything. There are names that like I legitimately heard for the first time because people are sending me streams like, now this person's streaming about it. And I'm making a fucking list. Like if you didn't want to be on the radar here, then exploiting some guy's death for your own clicks and views was not the way to stay off of it. I can tell you that right now, because we have a motherfucking list going now. And I will now be watching and see, because it's absolutely morally reprehensible behavior. It really is. And again, the body wasn't even fucking cold yet. Are you kidding me? I cannot imagine if somebody that I love passed away and the way that I heard about it is some toothless fucking schmuck in Oklahoma going up on a live stream from his fucking rape van. Seriously.
Boom.
Wow.
I love when Kate gets fired up.
Angry Kate is the best Kate.
It's so much better in studio, though.
At all.
It's so much better in studio. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It would be better in the studio, but then my arm fat would be flapping around and everything. I'd be getting red in the face. I don't mind it like that.
Yeah, it's just an amazing thing. I just sit across from you, just watching. You just get so fired up. I love it. Yeah. DJ says Kill Shot Kate is out.
It just makes me upset. That's all, And I had a conversation with Nomad the day before he passed away. And I felt, I don't know how I felt after.
It was eerie. It was eerie because I didn't hear it until after it happened. It was eerie to listen to that after and just what you guys talked about, and then it happened in the next day. It was just very eerie to me. I feel bad it happened, but
I had asked him if, you're planning on living at least 20, 30 more years. And his response was essentially no. And it's like,
yeah.
Now, what more can you do? We offered to help the guy publicly and privately how many times, and you know, I told him that day too, like we meant it, like day or night, give us a call, we'll get you somewhere. You know, you need to find a home group, we'll find you a fucking home group. Doesn't matter if you're in Texas or Illinois or wherever you are, like we'll help you. But I guess just in retrospect, to hear that he had like given up already is just, you know, it's just sad. And it makes me more angry than these people that actually, because I didn't know the guy. The people that actually did know him, you didn't do a fucking thing. Not as much as you can do. I understand, you know, at some point these things can be inevitable. But I mean, if you didn't help a situation, shut the fuck up about it now. Really, just shut the fuck up about it now.
I mean, that's how it always is, you know, with anything. People come out of the woodwork. You know what I mean? Everybody, when someone dies, and you know, obviously some people legitimately knew him, and that's fine. Like, I'm not saying that every single person is bullshitting, but it's just funny how many people come out of the woodwork when things like that happen.
The other thing that gets me is like when Josh was doing his live stream, he's like, you know, even the auditor haters even tried to help the guy because he was such a good guy. And it's like, I assume he means us by auditor haters. I mean, like, yeah, you're right. Like, even us tried to help him. That would lead you to believe maybe you guys are shitbags. I don't know.
Yeah, no, because I saw, like, I know that road, okay, and I saw the road he was going down, and it was not good. Like,
oh, yeah.
You know, and I saw that, and I'm like, damn, like, that's why, like, I emailed this guy, like, I tried to reach out to him on his Discord when he still had it, like, and I'm not, and I know I'm not the only guy that's done this. There's people that have done a lot more for the guy than I have. Like, there's other people that have, like, you know, like, basically, like, set everything up. All he had to do was get in the car and get dropped off at the front door of, like, rehabs and stuff. But, like, I didn't, you know, like I tried reaching out to him, like, he didn't want it. And you can't. If someone doesn't want it, then you can't. There's not.
I think you should read Walter White's comment. It just scrolled up, but he said, "I think what should be talked about is those people who donated to him, and then that's what ended up happening."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. During it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, we don't need to be, you know, assigning blame left or right or whatever else. Like I said,
Right.
you know, no matter who it is, it's sad when people pass away.
Yeah.
I just absolutely think that it is disgusting that people are trying to now, you know, raise money over this. And I mean, I don't know that there are any, you know, funeral arrangements currently in the works, but I can guarantee at least 2 of the 3 campaigns that I saw, they don't know either. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like, what are you really raising money for? It's just, you know, it just goes to show the heart, the true soul of this quote unquote movement.
That's very true.
That they can make money off of with this, whatever it may be, they're gonna fucking reach their hands into your pockets, and that is absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, like one of them said the other day, he was on a live and somebody donated $10 and he like smirked and he was like, oh yeah, it goes straight to gas, and you could see his whole fucking face. You could see he was fucking lying. So at that point, they're laughing at people. They're laughing at the people that give them money. So that's another thing why we do this, is we want to say to people, wake up, keep your money. Everybody needs their money right now for their own household, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I've heard some pretty messed up things about things that people would do with his super chats and all that, but I mean, I don't want to get into it, but it's like people would give money for nefarious reasons, and that's just, people are fucked up. I don't know. That's why I don't think he had any, and I told him this too, I don't think he had any business being on YouTube right now. He had more important things to take care of, but I don't know. But anyway, I mean, you know, it's always a sad thing, and rest in peace, Nomad is what it all comes down to. Just don't fucking be an idiot and make live videos for your own purposes.
Yeah.
So does anybody else want to come on the stream? We just put the link in the comments if anybody else wants to come in. Someone vacuuming? So speaking of donations, PayPal Patty is going hard right now because he's got a warrant and he needs some money. That's another thing.
And they just had a baby.
Like, holy shit! Like you know,
He just had a what? I'm sorry.
He has a warrant.
A baby.
So he has a warrant for his arrest.
Oh, you guys are both saying different things. Kate's saying he had a baby, and Mitch is saying he has a warrant.
Both.
Both are true.
I'm not saying. I just want to make sure they were both clear.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
no, they're both true, but the baby does not have a warrant. So
Yeah, the baby's
Don't
already. Yeah, the baby already did his first audit. The baby did the first audit. It didn't go well. He didn't. He broke some laws. He's already got a warrant.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's actually a good question. If two frauditors have a child, how long before he catches its first warrant?
Yeah.
it's Kate Palisha, the toddler auditor. That's what we've been saying it's gonna be. Yeah, she is shitting herself as we speak for your freedoms.
Yeah. Oh my God, this cameras guy is like really trying. He's so annoying.
Does he
really
want to
is.
come
Yeah,
on?
yeah. No, I'm not letting him on. Fuck that guy.
Oh, okay.
He's so annoying. Like he's trying so hard. Like he's nobody. Like he's nobody. He's lucky. He's lucky that we had him on that one show. Just because I wanted to hear his.
Whoa! You're having a little auditing America on us.
No, I don't look at like no, because fuck that guy. Who's
The last
Puma
time
Tits?
he was on,
Puma Tits is in here. All right, so Natalie, so we can only have a certain amount of people in at once.
No problem.
So
No
yeah, so I
problem.
appreciate you coming on.
Thank
We'll
you,
talk,
guys.
all right? Yeah.
Thanks
Thank
again,
you.
Natalie.
All right.
Thank you. Take care.
Yep. Bye. All right. I don't know who Puma Tits is, so let's see how this goes.
Okay.
Puma
Alright,
Tits.
hey, what's happening?
What's
Oh,
up?
What's up?
Hold on, real quick. I was gonna say I saw Marley in the comments saying that she should come in, to let her in. So I was gonna say, is this
Oh,
her? But
God.
judging by that voice, God, I hope it's
We should
not.
let her in.
Yeah.
We should let her in. I love her.
Yeah, I wanted to touch on the fact y'all are talking about Nomad's death and people making videos, even in support, whether they meant it or not. But there were also people that made videos about Nomad's death that were derogatory, and one of them are in the comment section right now watching us. And that's the People's Patriot Gary Snow that we were talking about. And he made a video basically just mocking Nomad's death and his life and everything about him. And he's got the nerve to fucking come on in the comment section and talk about Nomad there too. So didn't want people to forget that.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was
And
nice.
I think I've already talked to Mitch under a different name, and Mitch has got some information on Gary Snow. He's a bootlicker, an extreme bootlicker.
Well, technically, so are we.
Well, yeah. Well, technically, yeah.
okay.
Well,
I know who
technically,
I know who
technically,
I
y'all
wear the
pick sides.
boots. I wear the boots.
I licked
yeah.
Officer
I'll
Oak's
say this. I'll say
I love
this
the
because
taste of boot leather in the morning.
listen, man. Nobody just hates all police unless something's seriously wrong with them. So, I mean, I'll say this.
A few of people like that, though. That's usually what we talk about.
Yeah, I definitely know a few people who are just like F the police no matter what.
Yeah, I know this guy named Cameras that like DUI'd and then almost got his ass kicked by a cop after he like threatened to fight him.
Oh,
And then-
yeah. I remember that.
And now he
It
hates
wasn't
all
his
cops.
fault. It
But
wasn't his fault.
I did see Officer Oak personally. We were on a live of Nomads, and Nomad was having a bad night or whatever, and he decided to seek help, and he called a rehab that was recommended by people in the comment section that were familiar with his area, and he finally did get on the phone with those people, and he asked for a room, and he said, I need help, and everybody in the comment section was supportive of Nomad that night, and Officer Oak personally reached out to him. I'll give him that. I know he's a real police officer. He reached out to him and he tried to help. And everybody was supportive of him, and they said that due to the COVID virus that they weren't accepting new patients or whatnot at the time. And he definitely was trying to get help, and just because he had an addiction doesn't mean that he's any less of a person. I wouldn't think, and he deserves respect.
No, he was a good kid, man. I mean, I talk to him every other day. I mean, other than his addiction, and I don't really support auditing, but if that's what tickles your pickle, man, that's you. But I mean, he was a good kid, all in all.
Can I interject off topic and just respond to No Name Audits? No Name Audits. We will never be able to help you get any money from Josh Abrams because you are never going to get any money from Josh Abrams. You were never going to get any money from Josh Abrams. And for the upteen time, being a jackass with a cell phone, going in and harassing people at work is not a career. You are not going to make a living that way. It is not sustainable, and there is nothing we can do to help you make it sustainable, ever.
Hey, real quick. I'm sorry.
Today.
Did we thank Wyatt Earp for this donation earlier? We appreciate
Oh
that, man.
no,
If we
I
did
meant, did I miss
$25
it?
bucks, Wyatt Earp.
Oh, all right, hold on. Let me
Thank you,
find it.
Wyatt.
Yeah, sorry, I missed
Sorry.
that. Let me see. Yeah, Kate's feisty today. Very feisty.
I am a little bit. I gotta dial it back.
Is your trash bag too tight? Loosen it up. Give us some arm room.
It's getting a little musty in here.
All right, we got Lisa
Told you.
Williams in the lobby over here.
Go for it. But like I said, Angry Kate is the best Kate.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true all the time, but
Pat Sagan,
From
that
an
is,
entertainment standpoint, yes, it is.
yeah. Pat Sagan, that's a hard no.
hard no.
Hard no.
We can't move mountains here. We can't walk on water, and we surely can't get any
Yeah.
money from Josh Abrams.
Jimmy, I'm trying, man. I'm trying. All right, let's bring. I have a feeling I know what Peanut wants to talk about, but I'll bring her in. What's up, Peanut? Peanut, why are you telling me to shut up? Come on now.
You have
Come on
no
now.
idea what I want to talk about.
Come on now. Why are you
hey,
telling
real
me
quick,
to
that's a
what are you telling me to shut
beautiful
up for?
Hey, Kate,
Where is that? That's a beautiful view. I'm being serious.
North Myrtle Beach.
Oh man, that's fantastic.
That's nice.
Thank
That's nice to watch it every night. I'd be out there right now too. Damn. Peanut, why are you telling me to shut up?
Because I want you to shut up and let Kate.
Shut up, Mitch.
Yeah, did you notice though? Since we left the studio, Mitch does kind of dominate the conversation.
Well,
now,
I
right?
know.
Yes, he does.
I honestly, I can't wait to go back to my normal thing because I got
No,
way too much
listen.
going on right now. I want
I have
sound
an
guy to
empty
do
seat.
everything and me just sit there. Go ahead, Kate.
Hey,
I have an
Mitch.
empty seat next to me.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
Put one in the comments
all-
if you think Mitch is the new
Mitch.
co-host.
Oh God.
Mitch.
Yes.
With all due respect,
Yeah.
Kate is more detail oriented than you
Oh,
are.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you.
You know
for
what I-
acknowledging
In
Peanut,
other breaking
Peanut, you
news,
wanna
water
know-
is wet.
Yeah, Peanut, you want to know what my part in all this is? Like the equipment part of it, and I edit some of the videos and all that. I don't want to host. Hosting is not my thing.
Hey, Mitch.
Yes.
Would you consider doing an all-female night where just the ladies talk?
Ooh, a ladies'
Well,
night,
you
huh?
males just talk over us.
A ladies' night.
Yes, a ladies' night.
Oh,
We
sure.
could play the song. It would be fun. Yeah.
We
Right?
can't play the song because we're not paying for the
No,
copyright.
seriously, you guys.
Thank you,
actually
Pat.
Look over a lot of details.
We do.
I mean, yeah.
What are we
y'all-
looking over?
You males do. I mean, Mitch. With all due respect, with Enrique's.
This is
text
sexism.
messages,
Definitely.
that young lady is just as responsible as he was with those
mean-
text messages. And
Right, but I'm
should
pretty
be
sure.
held-
The thing is,
she
though,
should be
Peanut.
held to the same standard as he is.
The thing is, though, Peanut. It seems
Well,
to me that
no,
she would.
honey.
No, you're talking over me
She's
now.
a young girl. She reached out to me and she trashed me.
All right, so it
I'm
sounds like you have a
sorry.
personal thing with her. Because let me tell you this: it seems
She
to me
shouldn't have reached
that
out
she.
to
Let me say what I want to say.
Okay,
Now you're talking over me.
Dylan.
Go ahead, darling.
All right, thank you. So with her, she was only texting that stuff with one person. With him, there's multiple people.
But he was obviously married.
Well, that's fine. But why?
That's
would
fine.
she
Yeah, that's
reach-
fine. No big deal.
Yeah, but why would she reach out to me?
I don't
On
know. I don't.
Sunday, I'm going to be 59 years old. Why would she reach out to me?
What did
That
she reach
kinda-
out to you
that,
for?
That
What-
kind of put me through the roof. I was like,
For what?
I don't know you from Adam, so why are you reaching out to me?
About what? What did she reach out to you about? I have no idea about that. Tell me about it.
Hey, Peanut. Excuse me, Peanut. Bruce
Yes?
Gordon in the comments would like to say that someone who gave John Gray $7,300 is saying that someone is not paying attention to details. So you're accusing someone of not paying attention to details after you gave $7,300 to John Gray, extra good citizen.
That was mean. She learned a lesson.
Hey, you know what? John Gray's a thief. So I have
I'm just
nothing
reading
to
the
say about
comments
that.
here. I'm passing along a question.
No, that's
So
fine.
what did she reach out to you
I
about?
totally agree. John Gray is under investigation.
Kate,
for
will you
breach of
kindly,
trust,
Kate,
and
will you
we'll leave it at
kindly
that.
ask Peanut? Will you kindly ask Peanut what Natalie reached out to her for? Because she obviously doesn't want to talk to me.
No, Mitch, I'm fine. I'll talk to you. Actually, if you go to my Peanut 411, I have YouTube, and she actually put it out there publicly, along with a video. But I had no idea what she was referring to. And I will be perfectly clear. Enrique has always been kind and respectful. So
Come on.
I don't think I can go any further than that. But I don't know why she thought it was necessary to reach out to me. You know, they had a sexual conversation that really had nothing to do with me. So why she reached out to me, I have no idea.
I don't either.
I don't either. Thank you, Murpha.
Murpha is the. Can I hold on? Murpha is the man. Like he really is. Like,
If I remember correctly, he's the guy who's got like a really badass ride too, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, he's
Cool
Peanut. He's one of our regular commenters. He just gave us a donation of $100. Well, $99.99. So thank you for that,
Murph. Murpha, when we start getting merch again, you got a shirt coming your way.
No, I sent him the stuff like pre-order.
All right, cool.
Mitch?
Yeah, Peanut. Go ahead.
Kate is absolutely awesome.
She's is
great. She's great at detail.
Unlike me.
Yeah, you need to take some lessons from Kate.
I like this lady because she's so feisty.
Out of curiosity,
it's gonna offend me.
Out of curiosity, do you have any opinion on Sound Guy?
Hey,
who's that?
Mitch?
Yes.
Thank you for the heart on my free speech.
The what?
The
heart.
The heart on my free speech.
Oh yeah, you can say whatever you want. I don't care.
I thought you said the hard on.
That's what I didn't want to be the one to say it. Yeah, no, I don't care. Peanut, you're not offending me at all. I really don't care. It's all good fun. Like
no, Mitch, you know.
I don't know if it's good fun for you, but
you highlighted my comment, and we had a very cordial conversation. And I thank you for the heart for my free speech.
Yeah.
And I wish I still had my profile pic because John Gray
Unless
holding
Kate did that, and you have
holding
no
the
idea.
sign.
No, it was me. It was me.
It was. I would take credit if I could, but you know, we like all sorts of opinions here, and we definitely like people that shit all over Mitch.
Yeah. Hold on. So real quick. Sorry, Peanut. Real quick. I was gonna say something. So Murpha, did Murpha say he needs masks? Is that what masks for him and his mother? Because my wife has masks. I have masks. So if he needs masks, I'll send them out. So Murpha, get a hold of me if you need masks. All right. Sorry. Go ahead, Peanut.
All right. What I'd like to say is I do defend honest, hardworking First Amendment activists, auditors, or whatever you want to call them. But I deplore bad auditors, those who are disrespectful, have no respect for women. I'm on both sides. I like what y'all are doing. Sometimes you go a little bit overboard, just like the others do. Y'all go overboard, but I like to be in the middle and be a part of a free discussion.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. You know, I understand that. Like, trust me, I think we're all in agreement here that not every auditor is out to fraud it.
Yeah. News Now Houston needs to be buried. He's a dirty rapist. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. He's a
That's
dirty
Earl,
rapist.
right?
And you know what? I probably wouldn't be so vocal, but when he got on YouTube and he called me out and said I'm an old lady who hit my head, he's a scumbag. Sorry.
Well, you sound very lucid to me.
What?
I said you sound very, very lucid to me. You sound like you have your wits about you.
Yeah, well, I was pretty stupid trusting Extra Bad Citizen with $7,300.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
But
anyway,
live and learn. You know what I mean. It is what it is. But listen, I got no bad feelings. I'm just messing with you, Peanut. You know.
I know, Mitch.
All
I
right.
know you're all good. But you know what? I'm going to end this with one thing. I want to thank Furry Potato, Zoe, and I want to thank Slow County Observer because we were able to feed a camp of homeless people. So,
All right.
you know what? Some good came out of the greedy nastiness. So, I'm happy some homeless people got fed.
Yeah, that's always a good thing.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Mitch.
All right. Thanks,
Love you,
Peanut. Take it
Kate.
easy. Kate, she loves you.
You too, Peanut.
All right. Talk to y'all soon. Bye.
All right. Bye bye. Kate, you organized girl, you.
I appreciate that. It was nice of her, but I'm a hot mess. We should all know that. I
right,
just thought it was pretty
I need to do something to raise my profile because I don't have enough haters.
You don't. You need to step it up. So I did see that Penelope. Thank you, Penelope. Penelope asked a question. What's up with that clown Glenn? So what's up with Glenn is that we have another video coming out this week. So we will be. Yeah, no, it's going to be a great video. I've been working on it.
You want to tell? Are you telling them what it is or no?
No, I can't.
Okay.
It's a good one though. This is going to be a good Glenn video. I really pooled my resources to make this one. I'm pretty excited. I'm having so much fun with the video editing, you guys. I love it.
Yeah, I thought it too.
Editing.
I wish my computer can't handle the graphics card. The graphics card on it can't handle After Effects that you use, Kate. So like you're on another level. Like I enjoy your videos. You make very good videos.
I'm just learning.
I made a video using Spark yesterday on how to make like N95 kind of masks, and it looks good, but then it's got like the Spark logo all over it, and there's only so much you can do with it. But if anyone's looking for how to make masks, got you.
Casey Anthony is on fire with the comments tonight. I gotta give it up to Casey Anthony.
Really? Yeah, I saw her earlier. Saying some shit. I was laughing.
Casey Anthony told me that I left my plan B in the motel room. So I appreciate the reminder. I will be back for that.
Oh my god. Hands up to see it. Oh, alert. You guys want to watch? Are you talking about the one we just released? You guys want to see that? Has everybody seen the latest Asalmo video?
Oh, the one with the Bobcat owner?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Wait,
that dude's
one?
Bobcat will fuck him up.
The one
where he got schooled by the older gentleman in the Bobcat t-shirt.
Yeah, the professor.
Sweatshirt.
I dubbed him the professor.
That was pretty. I mean, the guy had a really good point, though.
He really did, honestly.
Like responsibilities that come with those rights, and of course, Anselmo is just like, I don't understand what the word responsibility means, so you must be crazy.
My right.
Yeah. We can watch that real quick. It's only like 6 minutes.
Hey, Doofy, are you even with us tonight?
He's having ironically, he's having sound issues. Yeah, his microphone's not working for some reason.
Oh, okay. I was like, wow, he's been real quiet.
Right. People's Patriot is in our lobby.
Yeah, let him in. Let him in.
All right, yeah. Hold on, let me
That's the guy who was chasing.
What's up, Patriot?
Josh.
Sorry for the wait, man. What's going on?
Just wanted to jump on real quick and just kind of give you my point of view real quick, since I've never really expressed myself to your community.
Yeah, what's going on, man?
Well, you have 264 people watching right now, so the floor is yours.
Well, you had Puma Tits, who was just on, and Puma Tits is actually Steve the groupie. He's the other gentleman that I did the interview with, No Name Audits, and Glenn, when they called me, and they were saying, why were you chasing Glenn? Okay. And I'm gonna kick your ass, and we're gonna show up to Fort Myers. Where do you live? What's your address? So I think he's a little upset because I recorded them and did that little interview, and of course they wanted me to pay them. I think it was like $775 an hour or something for their interview. So I think he was mad because I didn't mail him a check. But I mean, just real quick, I understand that a lot of people in the auditing community, this is such a thing. They're upset that, this gentleman died, Nomad News. And, I did put out a video and I did say what I have to say. And, I'm sorry I didn't know the guy. You guys apparently knew him. You talked to him before. But, so that's a little bit different. I don't know the guy. All I see is an auditor. And I'm sorry, everyone's out there, just like Peanut, whoever was just on said, there's some good auditors and there's some bad auditors. I haven't seen one good auditor. I've seen a lot of auditors, and they do the same routine. This is what they do.
Yeah.
They go and harass cops. They turn around, ask you to donate for them money. I mean, we're going through a global pandemic, and Josh Abrams and Glenn are in Florida at 3:00 in the morning on Easter Sunday, harassing cops.
Yeah.
Now, this is the auditors that I deal with. My first interaction with an auditor was at the funeral for a fallen police officer who came to the funeral to do his cop watching, video. And this is what I mean. Glenn was in Fort Myers. Josh was in Fort Myers, and both of them were saying that the Thin Blue Line Memorial in front of the Fort Myers Police Department was a disgrace.
Yeah, I saw that.
I have another auditor who, whenever a cop gets killed in the line of duty, says, that freedom was planted. Now that this tyrant, they like to call all cops tyrants. Now this tyrant can't cause any more harm on anybody else in the community. So I'm sorry, I didn't know this gentleman. And I like to flip the script on a lot of things. It's almost like during this whole presidential election, I made a shirt that said "fuck Bernie" because everyone likes to say "fuck Trump," and then everyone started commenting on my Facebook. How could you wear a shirt like that? Bernie Sanders is a sitting U.S. senator, and I'm like, I mean, come on, you know what I mean? It's like
but it's okay.
You're only allowed to say certain things, but you can't say. I thought we have freedom of speech. I thought this is what these guys are actually fighting for.
Well, we do, but again, it's not freedom from consequences, that speech. Not that I think there should be consequences for wearing a fuck Bernie shirt, because honestly, as far as I'm concerned, fuck Bernie Sanders anyway. But,
So
let's be real about it. But yeah, I mean, if people get upset, they're not infringing on your freedom of speech. They're just getting upset. That happens.
Well, I understand. I get it, but I didn't know this guy. I watched just a couple of his videos, and he literally was slurring his words. He couldn't even get through a video, and yet people are still donating to him. And I understand people reached out, and some other people trying to reach out, But I also looked at some of the videos, and he seemed to do the same pattern of attacking, police officers. I don't know how they're trying to hold police officers accountable for some kind of a crime or for them to be tyrants by just showing up to the police station or a post office or a library. I told you before that they remind me of the Tiger King. This it's like a train wreck that you can't look away from. Josh Abrams is the Joe Exotic of the auditing community, and all these comments, all these
I would actually vote somebody else as Joe Exotic, but I'm not going to get into that.
Well, if you looked at Tiger King, Joe Exotic wanted, he did that. He kept recording everything. He always wanted to be recorded. He really, loved the attention.
Am I the only one who hasn't seen this goddamn show?
Oh, you gotta watch it. You gotta watch it. Murphy,
I watched the first part of it.
Yeah.
Murphy, thank you again. Another 100 bones.
So
thank you so much.
Patriot. So this is the thing, like, and what you said, kind of, I can agree to. Like, it's crazy to me how these people that don't have jobs, a majority of them don't have jobs. They don't have careers. They don't go home and like with their families and all that. Like, they're going out to these guys, police officers that have this job, right? They're just trying to provide for their family. They're trying to go to work, get their paycheck during a time when there's viruses and all that, and get the hell home back to their family and provide for them. And these guys, it's crazy to me how they just go there and they're putting the camera in front of them, trying to audit those guys. Like, flip the camera around and audit yourself. Like, where are you at in life if that's what you're doing,
Well, a lot of them will say, I have a job, and I have a job. I work, actually I'm working 2 shifts right now. But you know, I can only talk about like some of the auditors down here in Florida, and right now a lot of the government buildings are closed, so they're going to post offices, and I know that postal employees are government officials, but what's so tyrannical about a post office or a postal employee?
Those postal workers are the real tyrants. They bring you
Oh my
bills.
God, the stamp
and
costs
they cut
35
your mail.
cents.
Yes,
Those
how dare
bad
how do you
bill
not
bringers.
realize?
You know what?
Hey,
It's
People's
government
Patriot, People's Patriot, real quick. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sheetza in the comments wanted to say to you that none of what you're saying, I assume this is about Nomad, none of what you're saying makes it okay to say you are happy an auditor is dead. You horrible person. That's their comment. That's their comment, not mine. Sheetza.
I'm trying to look for it. Here it is, right here.
What was that?
It says
I'll
on
read
the
it again
screen
for
now.
you.
It's on the screen. I don't know if you're watching it. It's on the screen.
It makes it okay to say you're happy with an auditor is dead. You're a horrible person. Yeah, I don't care what you think. I have the right to free speech. I don't know this guy. Respect my right to free speech. You know what I mean? I don't know him. All I know is, I mean, you want to generalize police officers? You want to show up to a police station and say all cops are tyrants? I'm going to generalize auditors and say all auditors are pieces of shit. And just one junkie happened to die, and I'm supposed to care about him? Fuck him. I don't. That's the way I feel. I don't know him. I don't know his family. I don't know anything about him. And if you think that's
hate them with a passion.
I don't care.
And News New England, real quick, Kate, I'm sorry. News New England Patriot said that he wants to invite you, he or she, I'm not familiar, wants to invite you to come on an audit with him or her.
That's
God.
These people.
That's something you do, right? Yeah.
So I audit the auditors. You know, they want to come into my town. They want to do a live stream. I find out where they are, or they're pretty easily, and I can kind of predict where they're going to be with a lot of the, continued patterns. You know, there was a gentleman in the Charlotte County, Ian McGuire, who's currently in the penitentiary for stalking and harassing. He kept showing up to the same spot. There's another group of local First Amendment auditors down here that Josh and Glenn were with. They come down and they travel the whole state of Florida. So if they're in my area, I'm not working, I'll show up. If they do some other events, and I like to audit them. I ask them questions. I stick a camera in their face and ask them some questions. And they don't like it.
So News New England, are you willing to take a trip down to, you said you're in Florida?
Yeah, I'm in Fort Myers.
So yeah, are you willing to hop on a flight to Fort Myers? Because it doesn't sound like he's coming up to New England anytime soon.
Yeah. Get on your YouTube channel and ask everybody for donations so that you can fly, or maybe you can rent a car. You can pick up Josh. Come on down.
He's also saying that all cops are not shit. Most are great. It's the 10% I look for. I don't even think it's 10%. I think it's I've looked at the number before. It's literally like 1% of less than 1%. I think it is.
It is
Police are bad.
Right. Yeah. And they always hold this argument, I don't think all cops are bad. It's like, racist white people saying, well, I'm not a racist because I have one black friend. I'm sorry. You want respect, you have to earn respect. You do videos where you just show up randomly to some police station or a government building, a post office, a library. We got guys down here that are going to hospitals right now because a lot of these places are closed. These freelance journalists, that are gone now, they're stalking and harassing nurses and doctors and postal workers and librarians. And like I said, you want respect, you have to earn respect. I understand what these people do. I do go to protests, I during this whole election, and I understand what they're trying to do is get content. And the good content, the juicy content, that's what's going to get views. That's what's going to get subscribers. And that's what's going to earn them that ad revenue and that money from donations. This is what they do for a living. They can say they have other jobs, but this is another form of income. Josh Abrams does this for a living. That's a fact.
Yeah, undisputable. And, what kind of living is it really? Come on.
I just wanted to go back to...
That's what he does for a living. Is he harasses cops?
Yeah.
We got
to go back to what Patriot had said.
Yeah, Officer Oak, go ahead.
He said that he's glad that not glad that he died, but I mean he shouldn't really have to care. Which I respect that more than using the person's death and pretending you were their friend.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
I can
Yeah.
agree with that. I can agree with that 100%.
I seen the video of Josh almost crying, and
that was so fake.
basically did that video in response to Josh. Josh is sitting there crying about this guy that I don't think he even met him or he knew him. I don't know.
He never met him.
Okay, he never met him, and now he's crying, and he's like, "Oh my God, he's heartbroken, he's sad." And I just looked at a couple. I didn't know who this guy was. I looked at a couple of his videos, and look right off the bat, I can tell he's like everybody else.
And
I don't know.
And of course, he tried to use the Tree of Liberty quote too. The Tree of Liberty must be refreshed with the
Real cool quote have been selling heroin for as much as I know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So did you notice during that video too? During that video, Josh, so he's like right in the middle of crocodile tears and all that, right? And then all of a sudden someone drives by and says hi to him. Did you see how quick he just shut it off? He just shut it off. He's like, "Oh, hey, what's up? How you doing?" He goes right back to tears.
Yeah.
That was the most bullshit video.
I'll give Josh Abrams one thing. He's got the gift for gab. I mean, he could be like a TV host. I mean, that's what he does. This is what he does for a living. You know what I mean? But he's the fakest person I've ever met. You know, when he comes down here and when he does his audits, his little, it's a little shtick that he does. I mean, this is what he does for a living. This is how he gets paid.
I agree with you. I agree with you in that, as much as I'm loath to give Josh Abrams any credit for anything. I mean, he does have some natural gifts and some natural talent. He can be charismatic when he wants to be. He could actually use those in a legitimate way, but the problem is that he's done so much dirt that no legitimate outlet, no legitimate path exists for him right now, and that's the problem. This is the only way he can make money.
Listening to you guys, it seems like you guys, in some odd way, you want to kind of reform these auditors and and so like Abrams, he's good. He has talents. He could do something else with his life. A lot of these auditors down here, there's one gentleman called Rogue Nation. He's good. He reads a lot about the law. He knows all the laws. He knows a lot about the Constitution. I think he could be doing a lot better than going to post offices and harassing postal workers and customers waiting in line. I mean, the guy could, maybe, he could be a lawyer. He could do something in the law field. He's very knowledgeable, but instead, I think a lot of these people, like I said, they're like the Tiger King of the auditing community. They strive on the attention. They like getting the attention and the subscribers. Hey, smash this button. Hey, give me some likes. Donate to my PayPal, my Patreon, all this crap. They love the attention. So this is what they do. They feed off it. So, we all know what this First Amendment auditing is, what they're trying to do. And I think it's honestly, I think it's pathetic, but it's entertaining at the same time. I mean, it's like I said, it's a train wreck. And then, with everybody, I do my research. And when I look into these individuals and actually, look into their history, and I'm amazed that, these people are out there, it's.
Oh, can I throw you back for a minute? I gotta bring Sassy Assassin wants to come in and he wants to talk.
Yeah, that's fine, man.
This will be good.
It's Steve the Groupie.
Yeah, this will be good. You're right, Sassy.
Yeah. Hey, I guess Gary thought he was gonna get to come up here and just say what he wanted and have another one-sided.
What's going on, Steve the Groupie?
How you doing? Good to talk to you again, Gary. I thought you thought you were going to have
$775 an hour for this.
Yeah, we weren't never going to give you any information, Gary, and you know damn well we weren't. Let's talk about the video.
I'm sorry, with that name, Sassy Assassin, I just cannot help but picture RuPaul holding a sniper rifle. Sorry,
it would be so much better if he was like being wicked. If he was like, listen, Gary, all right, we're not going to take this.
That's exactly how Gary sounds to me. Yeah, Gary sounds like that to me.
Hold on. Let me get Steve the Groupie. He's gonna call me a bootlicker, a cop sucker. Yeah, I get it.
No. I've already done that. That's already been done. I'm here to address more things than just you being the bootlicker that everybody knows you are. That's fine. You're also a white supremacist. Let's not forget that.
You're a camera lens licker. I mean, I don't. I don't care what you think about me, Steve.
All right. Well,
Gentlemen.
listen. It doesn't matter what you think.
We
I just
talk
want
one at
to.
a time though. Okay, so Groupie Steve, go.
Yeah. Let's do this. Let's do this nicely here. So, Steve, go.
Yeah, I'm used to trying to listen to Gary as he overtalks me. So, yeah, he's been calling in No Name's phone, and he first off it started when me and No Name and Glenn were talking on a conference call on the phone, and Glenn goes, "Hey man, somebody is in my comment section talking about that they were following me down the road, and there really was a person that was chasing me at 80 miles an hour, and he said it looked like they had a weapon on them. Come to find out, it wasn't a weapon; it was a megaphone that evidently." It was a megaphone, evidently that Gary intended to use at 80 miles, 90 miles an hour.
You got
Now
2
we're
minutes,
going
Steve.
100.
Then it's
I
Gary's
got
turn.
2 minutes. Okay. All right. So anyway, so the megaphone deal came up. Anyway, long story short, we get Gary on the phone. We roast this Joker for about 45 minutes. He come up with a 5-minute edited video because the other 40 minutes was us roasting him. And the only thing that Gary could come up with was he wanted to do an interview, and he wanted to know where Josh was, and he wanted to know so badly. I finally just asked him, busting his balls, "Hey, well, how much is it worth to you?" And he was like, "Well, at first he was really interested in that." And I told him, "Go get a pen, I'll give it to you." And he comes back. I was like, "You got your pen?" He's like, "Yeah, I got my pen." I was like, "All right, take your pen and shove it up your ass." So then that's why he cannot produce the rest of this video that has Josh's number in it. It's not because he doesn't want to dox Josh. It's not nothing to do with that. It's because the number was never given out. Gary's fake news. We do a little bit of research on Gary, find out that he's a white supremacist. There's pictures of him with there's pictures of him with the Nazi flag, and then he's a okay, you're a bootlicker, no big deal. But the cops don't even support you. They lock you up everywhere you go, Gary.
Right.
You know, you've incited riots and been arrested for it at these pro police things you go to. They don't even like you. You know what I'm saying? That's like going to a fucking Knicks game and they want you to sit on the opposing team's fucking side. You know, they don't even want you there. So all right, I'll give my time up early and we'll let Gary talk.
All right.
All right, thank you, Groupie Steve. Gary, you have the floor.
Well, I feel like I'm being interrogated by a First Amendment auditor. Well, first off, I don't have to prove anything to Steve the Groupie, but I will defend myself. You know, there are several things that I've done in the past. One, I stood on a Nazi flag. If he did any research about me, he would know that I actually went to a Richard Spencer protest in Gainesville at the college up there in Florida. And I was out there with all the other people, and I'm a big Trump supporter, conservative, and I was out there protesting white supremacy. I was actually standing on a Nazi flag. I don't know if you understand what that means, but I was opposing, white supremacy. And I actually did an interview with several people, and I explained myself why I was out there and what I was doing. Another thing is, yes, I do get arrested at protests, but I've never been charged with any crimes. I do. People call me a provocateur because I'm not afraid to hold back, and I'm very expressive, and I like to express my right to free speech. Like I said, I'm very political. I support my president. So when we have a lot of these protests that we've seen throughout the years, I've gone out and I showed support for my president. I showed support for my candidate, and a lot of people did not like that, and they got confrontational, and I've stood my ground, and I've been arrested, but it was mostly just to keep the peace. Like I said, I've never been charged with a crime. So basically what Steve the Groupie is trying to do is trying to defame my name and trying to discredit me. Everyone's tried to, we have the lawyer for in Jacksonville that's representing Omarosa, who used to be in the White House.
Your lawyer's got 15 seconds.
Well, that's all they're trying to do is defame me. I don't care what they think. Did I edit that video? I did. Why? And I told you this. I like to stir the bee's nest. I like to, I'm going to fuck with these guys any which way I can. You want to come to my town? I'm going to audit you. You give me your phone number, I'm going to call you.
Oh, it's got an alarm and everything. Look at this.
Yeah, I'm going to start shitting between Josh, them, and everybody. You know what? You guys want to come to my town, disrespect my law enforcement? You want to disrespect my officers?
Okay,
I'm gonna
time's up.
fuck with
Time's
you.
up.
All right,
Time's up.
you're disrespecting the alarm. You're disrespecting the
All
alarm,
right,
buddy.
hold on. All right, so
Disrespecting
he just confirmed. He just admitted that he edited the video to stir the bee's nest. So I mean, what's the big issue with that, Steve?
That's fine. No, I'm gonna move on because I might be on a 2-minute timer.
Why
I'll move
did you?
on from
Why
that.
did you ask me to pay you? Why did you want me to pay you?
I was busting your balls, just like when I told you to
No,
go get a
you
pen,
asked
and I
me
was
to
going to
pay
give you
you.
the number, and I told you to shove the pen up your ass. And then when it came
Okay.
time for the number to come
Right.
out, I told you to shove it up your ass. But on your video, your version, it's just a bleep noise, like I gave
I
you the
know.
number.
Excuse me.
You
Can I-
insinuate.
All right, hold on. Let Kate,
go ahead.
let Kate go in. Let Kate go in. I
Excuse me.
paused your time.
Should I call you Sassy Assassin or Groupie?
That's
Steve?
fine. That's fine. Sassy's
Okay.
fine. Steve's
Sassy.
the groupie's Gary's term.
Okay, I'm hearing terms there. So, question: why did No Name insist then that like Gary owed him money afterwards? Because he came into our live stream and he was very, very serious about like, you wanted an interview, pay us. So, I mean, was it understood between all of you that this was a joke, or do you think that like maybe you're running with some people that don't get that humor or
No,
words
we all
in general?
We all laughed at Gary, and then it went on for so long that No Name was like, if you really want to interview, then we're going to contract this. We'll do a verbal contract. And but no, No Name has no intentions on pursuing suing Gary for a contract at all.
You know, I feel kind of honored, real quick, that the only person who's tried to charge us for an interview is Orga. He's the only one. Everybody else come on for free. He wanted $4,000, but everybody else
you know what?
come on for free.
Dead serious.
I'll say this about Joe Orga. Joe Orga was ripped off for his $200 for participating in Josh's fucking bullshit. And you know what? I've never seen somebody so respectful to Josh after he still owed them money. And that's all I'm gonna say about Joe Orga. He's a respectable person in my book.
He's a hell of a Tinder date too.
Oh man.
Yeah, he was really nice. He was really nice to Josh for a long time after that. And I couldn't believe it. If he owed me $200, I would have smacked his ass up like I would smack Gary's ass up.
Did you hear Joe when they slapped the cuffs on him in Worcester? Joe's a bitch. There's a difference between having respect for other people and then just being a non-confrontational, little salty ginger vagina. And
He's
he is the latter.
non-confrontational for sure. He's non-confrontational for sure.
Right.
But before my timer, I'm watching my timer up here.
I paused.
Timer.
All right. I would like to mention the fact. Okay, Gary says that he's not a white supremacist, but I would like to challenge him and question him and give him a chance to regress or address why he's shooting an African American flag and then setting it on fire, and then like after he shoots it, it's not dead enough, and then he sets it back on fire. What kind of crazy stuff is that? And why is he chasing Glenn around on Easter Sunday? I mean, on Easter Sunday, like he has nothing else better. I know you got a shelter in place, bro, but you could have fucking hid Easter eggs in place, and they're just little kids, something, I mean, something better with your time than chasing around grown men and calling up no-name audits and trying to figure out a way to get an interview for your cheesy channel. And I'll sacrifice my last 20 seconds because I know Gary's itching to overtalk somebody.
Your last 20 seconds. Ron M asked, so did No Name and Glenn really put together a plan to leave Josh in Florida?
No, they united because they both were equal. Had the same thing happen to them. God's honest truth. The same thing happened to both of them. They both wanted to ditch on them. It's just a lot of people. It's easy to hate Josh.
So no, they did not. He went with good intentions to Josh, and then found out Josh was being an asshole.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That was the question. All right. Patriot, you're up.
All right. So this is another thing that he wants to do. He wants to try to defame me. Same thing liberals try to do if you support Trump, if you're white, if you're conservative, you're a Nazi, you're a racist, this and that. Yes, I shot a flag. It's not an African-American flag. It's the RBG flag. It's not a flag of any country, any continent.
That is true. It is, I have seen the video. It is an RBG flag. Go ahead.
Right. So it is a flag of a movement. That flag was created by Marcus Garvey, and I think it was 1908. And the thing that I explained to Steve the groupie is, he wants to call me a white supremacist. I explained to him, I use flags as symbols. I stood on a Nazi flag. I was protesting Richard Spencer. I was protesting white supremacy. But if you're so closed-minded that to think that there's only white supremacy in this world, then you live in a shell. And what I've seen, especially coming out of Chicago, where we don't have Confederate flags or white supremacy, but we do have the Nation of Islam and a lot of other organizations that have been deemed by the Anti-Defamation League and been deemed by the Southern Poverty Law Center as anti-Semitic and racist hate groups, like the new Black Panther Party. Not the original Black Panther Party, but the new Black Panther Party, which uses the RBG colors, that RBG flag, as a symbol for their organization. And when I first got into this patriotic movement, before I even knew anything about First Amendment auditors, there was a movement going around where people were wiping their ass with the American flag. They were walking on it. They were burning it. In their defense, they were doing it for their right to free speech. Again, I expressed my right to free speech and flipped the script, and I did the same thing. You know, I took something that they used as a symbol that they cherished, that they had respect for, like I did for my American flag, and I shot it and burned it. You know, I just upped it. They were wiping their ass with it. They were setting it on fire. And, you know, he doesn't know the whole story. They doxed me. They doxed my family.
Finish this
they
thought.
knew where some people knew where my parents lived, and there were some messages that were sent out there. So, you know, was it made to intimidate some people? Yes, it was. But it also was, you know, again, my right to free speech, me standing up against, you know,
you need to stop disrespecting the alarm, bro.
What's that?
I told him to finish his thought, and that's what he did. So he's done now.
Time's up.
You want to rebuttal it?
Well, he pretty much admits to all of his shit. Okay, the flag may not.
I mean, I don't know if he's admitting to what you're saying. I think he's more being honest.
I mean, he did have a different approach to it, and I was just fixing to say, okay, the flag. I'm admitting that okay, the flag was an RGB flag. It wasn't an African American flag. Y'all brought that to my attention. That's fine. But there was other things. Hold on, let me pause your timer too. And I have seen he was saying that he was standing on a Nazi flag as well. I've seen that photo as well. And it's fair to say that it does look like a disrespectful. I mean, if he was going to be representing it, I believe he would be waving it. But there's so many different things about him that stalkerish. I mean, he stalks auditors, and he says it's his First Amendment right. And he's like, as long as it doesn't happen more than once or so many times, then I'm good with it. You know? Is it fair to say that auditors stalk police officers? I'll say it's borderline. I'll say some unless you do it more than once, I guess it can be just as equal. It goes both ways. I'm not gonna lie about that. It goes both ways.
Mitch Marley's dropping some knowledge in the comments.
But I'll tell you this. I told fucking Gary the same thing I told y'all. We don't hate all cops. We hate bad cops. And as should you. Unless you have qualified immunity yourself and you're abusing that shit yourself. You should realize that this shit's not fucking just imagination. I mean, it's happening. People that have fucking badges are abusing their power, and it's happening all the time. And that, you know, as an American, it's okay until if you're a cop supporter or whatever, it's okay until it happens to you or your family members, and then you have a reason to fucking say something. But I mean, you don't want anybody stepping on your rights just as much as you don't want anybody getting away with shit. You see what I'm saying? No, I don't, because you know what, I've had reasons to not like police too. But you know what? I do like police, and I have nothing against the police. You want to know why? Because it's my fault. It was my fault. It wasn't their fault. They're doing their job. No, and you know, I know the crazy part is when you stop living a lifestyle, where you have interactions with police and you start doing things the right way, and you start living a life where you're not, you know, doing illegal things or committing crimes or doing things you shouldn't be doing. The police leave you alone. No, not at all. I'll totally disagree with you, and I can give you the examples. I'll give you the examples. I live in the state of Alabama, right here in Montgomery, Alabama. There was an instance with a guy named Gregory Gunn. He was stopped unlawfully. He had committed no crime. He was shot and killed by the police. All right, a friend of mine worked for the ambulance company in the area. He called his brother that I worked with, his brother at the time, and he was on speakerphone. And he said, "Hey man, the cops just killed this guy. They won't let us save his life. And he wound up dying. The cop was charged with murder. The cop was convicted of murder. And after the cop was convicted of murder, then the family also won the civil suit. The city just settled. The city of Montgomery, Alabama, just settled the civil suit with this guy, and it was proven that they were wrong all the way around. So you can't tell me that these cops are never wrong, bro.
No, we can't.
That is not what I said.
And hold on just a second there, though, because you're taking an anecdote. You're making it the law. That's not how these things work. And how do you, with your cell phone camera, determine what is a good cop versus a bad cop?
Ding, 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 ding.
It's always obvious whether they're good or bad. Everybody,
is it obvious?
How is it obvious?
I mean,
I'll challenge that.
If you kill an innocent man that you didn't have any legal right to stop, that's
No. That's not. That is not what she asked.
What cop have you filmed with your fucking camera that has killed an innocent man?
That's the question she
I'm
asked.
referring. Oh, she changed the whole subject on me.
No. Kate, answer.
No, what I said.
Your question again.
What I said was that you took an anecdote. You took one instance, which is, if you are, I'm not familiar with the case. I would have to go back and look and fact check and see exactly what the outcome was. But if I take it at face value, that case was horrific, right? Unacceptable. But that
it happens all across the United States, and that's the reason. That's the reason.
1%.
You don't get to take. No, you listen to me, sir. Thank you, because I've been listening to both of you. You do not get to take one instance, one anecdote, and then say this is now the blanket law. This happens everywhere, because the truth is, it does not. And what I am asking you is that you and your auditor buddy show up to the police station. These people are working. They don't want to deal with your shit. I wouldn't want to deal with your shit. Nobody wants to deal with your shit. But you show up with your cell phone.
I'm not an auditor, sir. You need to calm down. I'm not an auditor.
You still
act like one.
He's a groupie. He hangs out with.
That's right.
I'm not a groupie.
So
I'm not a groupie. I'm an observer. I'm an observer.
To add
from the outside looking in. Sorry.
Steve, shut the hell up for a second. To add
Mitch,
to
go
what Kate
ahead.
is saying, to add to what Kate is saying, okay, just because there's one instance of what a cop has done today in Massachusetts, there's a police chief that just got caught soliciting sex with a 14-year-old. There is bad cops out there, but less than 1%. And it's not that cop that you go and film with your camera is not the cop that's killing someone. It's not the cop that's soliciting sex with a 14-year-old kid. It's not. Yeah. It's the guy that's going to his job to try and get a paycheck to provide for his family and go back and support them.
I'll say this. How many times have you been to the fuck? I know this is a whole different level from the legality point of view. How many times have you been to the fucking McDonald's and the fucking soft serve ice cream machine is down and not working?
Yeah, that's tough. I agree with you there.
All right, it's the same scenario with the police. I mean, they're getting paid to do a service, and they slack on the shit.
McDonald's worker.
I mean, and it's just as hard to get the fucking proof of why the fucking ice cream machine is down as to why the cops don't always do their jobs.
I worked at McDonald's for 4 years, and my ice cream machine was never fucking broken. Just saying.
You're the man.
Okay,
Hey, you're a patriot, bro. You're a patriot.
Steve, so if I start going to McDonald's and I call all the workers pigs and cocksuckers and tell them they beat their wives and record them, will that fix the ice cream machine?
No, I'll be the first one to tell you that's the quickest way to get your fucking food spat in. They will spit in your fucking food because they only make $10 an hour and it's not hard to get it.
Exactly. And then you go, and then you guys all go shit on these police officers. And then when shit gets fucking real, who's the first people you guys fucking crawl
No,
to?
I never call them. I never call them.
All right.
I never call them cocksuckers. Motherfuckers, I swear to God, I don't.
When their audit is not going good, they call.
Hey, as far as it goes, I do give.
Police when Gary was following Glenn. Who called the police on Gary?
No, you misunderstood what he said, Kate. He said he never swears at the police or calls them names. That's what he meant when he's saying never.
No, I never call the police to help me for anything. First and foremost,
maybe I did miss
do not.
Okay.
The only time I audit the police. The only time I cite law or audit the police is when they stop me individually. I don't make videos about them or anything else. So let's be fair.
All right, Gary's up. Go ahead, Gary.
They do call the cops. This is part of the step-by-step guide to First Amendment auditing. If the audit is not going good or it's not going as planned, it's not getting that content that they need, they will call the police on themselves. You know, I've seen it many times down here in Florida. Rogue Nation, George Metz, he'll call the police on himself. You know, they'll come out. Now they have the content. Now they can not say anything because they have the right not to say anything, not give ID, all that stuff. So they do call the police. This is part of the shtick that they do. You know, and besides that, you know, he wants to say that I'm stalking First Amendment auditors. Like, again, I flipped the script. I'm just being a freelance journalist. I'm an investigative journalist. All these First Amendment auditors, they all have press passes that they, you know, copied in their living room and then laminated it, stuck it around their neck. Now they say that
vilified freedom.
Journalists. So now I'm an investigative journalist. I want to do an interview with these auditors that come into my town. Now, if I know where you are, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to try to find you and I'm going to do an interview. I'm going to audit the auditors. Why is that a problem? You think I'm stalking you, but yet
I'm not an auditor. I'm not an auditor.
3 o'clock in the morning and just start stalking random police officers. You see a cop pull somebody over, you're going to get out and start filming. That's your right. But yet you're also kind of stalking. I mean, that's kind of like, that's what you're doing. You're going to these places, you know, you have a set plan. You are going. Stalking is when you stalk a certain individual repeatedly. There is a pattern there. If I show up at Glenn's house tomorrow, and then I show up the next day, and then the next day, and then I show up at his job, that's stalking. Ian McGuire is in jail right now for stalking. He kept showing up to the same place every day and stalked one woman for content for his YouTube video. She charged him. They put an injunction on him. He's sitting in prison right now for stalking and harassing. So if I want to go out there and audit the auditors, I don't see why you should have a problem. I'm just being a journalist. I'm just looking for a story. Isn't that how it goes?
Yeah. All right. And Steve, before you rebuttal,
my name's not fucking Steve now.
Well, I call you
Steve. You're leaning too.
Sassy then?
You're showing favoritism.
Sassy.
Calling me Steve.
Sassy.
Calling me Steve is showing favoritism.
All right, Sassy Pants. Listen, Sassy Pants. So you were talking about how he's a racist, a white supremacist. Is that what you're saying?
Right. That's what I read that in the news. I read that in the news.
Okay. So you were sounded like you were supporting Glenn Serio earlier.
No, not necessarily. I don't agree. I mean, if I was Glenn, I would have handled things a lot differently. I would have pulled over for the guy. And
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when Glenn Serio calls police, black police officers the N-word. When Glenn Serio calls Chinese motel workers chinks. That's what I'm talking about. And you're supporting that person.
I understand that's taking place. I'm not under.
I just haven't seen the video. I just haven't seen the videos of Gary doing that. That's all.
All right,
go ahead.
Gary hasn't said that to the police, but he has showed white supremacist activity, and in the news it says he's a known white supremacist.
I just haven't seen the videos of him calling anybody racial slurs. If I missed them, send them to me. But I'm just being honest. That's all.
Okay, I see where this is going, but that's fine.
But we had a lawyer. Listen, let me just do a rebuttal. I had a lawyer in Jacksonville named John M. Phillips. He represents Omarosa in Jacksonville. I did get into a somewhat of a riot in Jacksonville, and this lawyer actually he took his staff, and they did a huge, because 4 people got arrested for assaulting police officers. I was involved. They did not arrest me. They wanted me to be arrested for inciting a riot. So the lawyer who was representing these 4 activists that were out there that incited a riot and assaulted police officers, he took his staff, paid them, did a full background on me. You can go online. It says the biography of William Garrett Snow. You can look it up. He did this full biography because he was trying to find one bit, something that where I used a racial slur or where I did something. He wanted to go to the court and say, well, look, he's a white supremacist because
I'm not the first person.
During this riot, an African-American got arrested. They took him to jail. And he wanted to show, well, look at this. White supremacists came out to this peaceful protest and started a riot. He couldn't find anything. You know why? Because there's nothing there. Because if you do look back, you can try to spin it. I've been standing up against supremacy in its all of its forms.
No, you
know what I mean? There's
as soon as you get done, since there's not a timer on the screen, I'll go.
Go ahead. You're good. No, you're good. Go ahead.
All right. Here's where I disagree
sassy.
with you. Shut the fuck up. Hold on. Let me finish. You seen where there was a cop in Chicago that shot a kid and unloaded the whole clip on him. I believe it was 16 shots and killed this innocent black man, and unloaded the whole clip on him. And not Glenn, excuse me. This guy Gary Snow, William Garrett Snow, the People's Patriot, was there to anti-protest all of the African American people that showed up, and he began to antagonize these people. And if that's not a white supremacist, Gary, when you know they're wrong, and this guy was later convicted of this, and if it doesn't take him being convicted for somebody to have the common sense to know that he was wrong. I mean, if there's been body cams released and stuff like that, the first thing you said to me on the phone was, "Oh, well, this guy's mom was a crackhead." So the fuck what, dude? If his mom was a crackhead, that's fine, man. It doesn't matter that it doesn't mean he deserved to die. I mean, you were there supporting somebody that killed somebody for no reason.
Right.
And you antagonize the protesters. You're just always the anti-protester. You're always the opposite of anything. You want to be on the police's side so bad, and they don't even fucking respect you, bro. They fucking lock you up every chance they get too.
How do you know that? How do you know they don't respect me?
Well, maybe they do, Gary.
Okay. Well, can I at least give you a rebuttal, because I tried to explain this to you that night when you asked me about Jason Van Dyke and Laquan McDonald. This happened in 2016. Yes, there was a lot of people in Chicago that thought, Jason Van Dyke was innocent. He did shoot Laquan McDonald 16 times. But I lived in Chicago during this, and you don't understand the whole aspect. You don't understand the whole case. I actually did my research about this case. Chicago in 2016 was under siege, and a lot of the protesters in Chicago that took over Chicago, that were shutting down streets, actually wanted to hold court in the streets and convict Jason Van Dyke before he had his right to a fair trial. You are innocent until proven guilty, no matter what. If you think he's guilty or not, he deserved a trial. Yet everybody wanted to convict this officer before he had a trial. And all I've stated before was that if you looked at the facts of the case, Jason Van Dyke deserved his day in court just like anybody else. He got his day in court, and he was convicted, and he's in prison. You know what I mean? And you don't understand. You keep wanting to say Laquan McDonald was an innocent, unarmed African American, which is a lie. He was armed with a knife. If you know what, and I told you, if Laquan McDonald simply complied and didn't pull a knife on a cop and simply, didn't resist and kept running, Laquan McDonald would be still alive today. He unloaded a full clip. Laquan McDonald had PCP in his system. Only an individual under the PCP, the influence of PCP, could get shot with a full clip and then try to get up off the ground. So you don't understand the full case. Just because I supported an officer before he had a trial, because I thought, his training, which he used in that incident, he was justified for that shooting. Doesn't mean I'm a
Trayvon Martin case to me, bro. It sounds like Trayvon Martin all over again.
No, Trayvon Martin wasn't shot by a cop, dumbass.
It was shot by somebody like you that wants to be a cop, Gary.
No, I don't want to be a cop. If I wanted to be a cop, I would have been a cop a long time ago. I've been in the same.
You told us, we have it on recording, that you're an officer, Gary. You said you were an officer and you have a cruiser and you have warrants for no name.
All right. Hold on. Oak, Officer Oak, do you want in on this? Do you have anything to say, or are you good?
I got respect for Officer Oak.
Oak, are you there? All right, I guess not.
I got respect for Officer Oak. I did, like I said, I witnessed Officer Oak try to give Nomad Josh Russell good advice before he passed away, and I don't have anything bad to say about Officer Oak. He tries.
All right.
There's good,
and that goes to what I said, that I don't hate all cops. You see what I'm saying? I don't hate anybody.
I don't hate all black people. I have one black friend. You know what I mean? Get out of here.
That's debatable.
All right. I got news. Who the hell is this? News New England. Oh, this guy.
Oh, hey, what's up?
How you doing?
What's up?
Yeah. Well, I just want to talk about what Gary's saying about how he likes to audit the auditors and so forth, and he thinks all auditors are crap. I've been involved in civil rights, and
you got 2 minutes, buddy. Okay.
Since 1980, okay? So this is not just a thing that I started doing just because I was bored and sitting around wanting to start doing something. All right. So when you say that they're all just a bunch of jerks, you know, in 1980 I was helping out with, I mean, not in the 90s, I was helping out with the Maine Royal Workers Coalition, helping out the royal workers for people working on the farms and so forth, making sure the human rights and all that was taken care of. And now, because I'm disabled and I'm not working now, I have more time to get involved. So that's why now I'm auditing. I'm going to the police stations, and I don't harass the police. I don't call the police names and so forth. I go there, and if my First Amendment right is honored, I'm happy with the cop. I praise them. I tell them about how great they are. If I'm filming one on the side of the road and he doesn't bother me and he allows me to have my First Amendment right, I'll praise him. I'll call his chief, and I'll tell his chief about how great they were. Don't label everybody. Don't paint everybody with the same brush. We are not all the same. That'd be like me saying that Kate, because she talks once in a while about how she dislikes just a certain auditors, that she hates all auditors, that she would never like one single auditor. I mean, it's crazy. So I'm going to stop early and give Mr. Gary a chance to.
Yeah. Well, let me rebuttal. You don't want me to look at auditors in a generalized view. And I think Kate had just said it, you know, but yet the auditors look at police in the same view. And this is what I said before. I like to flip the script. You know, how many subscribers do you have on your YouTube channel?
Right now I have 300. I'm just getting started into it.
You have 300. Okay. So
300,
what
yeah.
I can tell you from what I've seen is that the good auditors, which I know they're out there, the ones that do have some respect for these police officers, you're not going to get any views and you're not going to get any subscribers. The bad auditors, the ones that are out there causing confrontations, that are calling cops pigs, you know, that are getting in the faces, that are disrespecting not only the government officials, but the private citizens, like the people waiting in the post line. That's what people like. That's what gets the attention. Those are the ones that have 300,000 subscribers. Those are the ones like Accountability for All that have a following. The ones that are out there causing. All you good auditors that are out there, I'm sure you are, you're not going to get any attention. Nobody's going to give you a platform to show that you're actually doing something good. I know you're out there, but it's just like everyone else saying, you know, all these cops are bad cops. No, they're not. You know, you can't generalize the police that just the same way. You know, I'm not saying that all auditors, I'm saying the ones that I've seen, which is a majority of them, the most popular ones, the one that everybody's talking about, I have a problem with them. And yeah, I like to audit them. I like to flip the script.
Like a mirror.
Hey,
Yeah.
News New England, I have a question.
Sure, go ahead.
Do you have a criminal record?
Depends what you consider a criminal record. I have
anything higher than a misdemeanor?
No, I don't.
Okay, so you have no felonies on your record?
Absolutely
at all.
not.
Wow.
Not
all right, that makes you like a unicorn in the auditing community.
I would like to
know
address that as well. I also do not have any felony record whatsoever. All my charges have been misdemeanor.
Well, you're not an
you
auditor.
also repeatedly said you're not an auditor. He is.
I'm not an auditor.
Right.
No,
That's
I'm
what
not an
I'm
auditor.
saying. I'm saying that's why I was asking him specifically.
The difference is I have no grudge against the police. My nephew is a police officer. There's other people in my family that have been police officers. I have no grudge against the police officers. I have a problem with 1%, 10%, whatever it is. The 1% that stops you on the side of the road, and even though you give them everything that they ask for, they still find some little thing to write you up at that most times would be let pass, but they're just in the mood to be a prick, and they're going to be a jerk to somebody. Even though they know that it's something, like for instance, not long ago I was stopped by a police officer, and he said that I had a plate light out. We went back and looked. Guess what? My plate light wasn't out. He says, "Well, I didn't use my blinker when I turned in." We went back and looked. Guess what? My blinker was on. Everything he said was wrong. That's the 1% that I'm looking for.
So your mission is to eradicate all jackasses from police departments?
I'm going to eradicate the ones that I can find. I'm going to point out.
You understand there's a son of a bitch in every single industry.
That's true, Kate. Don't bully the guy. I mean, you can bully this guy. It's not going to look good on you, Kate.
I don't care.
So can I eradicate all the actual auditors that are out there, or at least expose them?
So
I mean,
it happens all the time. They'll try to ID you when they know damn well they don't have the right to ID you. They'll pull you over and say you have a brake light that's faulty, and if you go out and actually check your brake lights, they're not faulty. I mean, you can't say all these cops are honest.
So, Kate, do you understand? Kate, let me ask you this question. So you think that just because a cop's a jerk, we should let him alone because there are so many we can't get rid of all of them? We shouldn't worry about that one cop that's being a jackass.
Because that is such a minor, like, talk about entitled bullshit first world problems. You're upset because a cop pulled you over and hassled you about a blinker and some brake lights. Do you understand the level of policing that goes on in other countries?
Well, we don't have third world problems, Kate. Hold on, Kate. That's not fair because we don't live in a third world country, Kate.
And you better say sweet baby Jesus every fucking day that you don't live in a third world country, because why do you not live in a third world country?
It's not because these fucking police.
News New England, go ahead.
Kate, I've lived in Central America. I've lived in El Salvador. I know what it's like when some jackass comes up, asks you for your papers, and beats the hell out of you because you didn't give the papers done. I know what it's like to drive down the road and the cop stops you and asks you for money because they've ran out of gas and they want money to put gas in their tank.
Okay, gas. So real quick. Hey, wait.
Let me finish.
Okay,
I spent 6 weeks in Asia, so I know what it's like. Don't give me bullshit, Kate. Well, third world country. I've been there.
But I think you're making her point. Wait a minute. I think you just unwittingly made Kate's point for her. The point that she is making to you is, and you said you've seen it firsthand in these countries where there's corruption, where there's, you have to give them money to not get into trouble. You have to show them the papers. You can get tossed in jail for no reason in other countries. And now you want to compare that what happens in other countries to the minor inconvenience of one jackass cop who's in a bad mood pulling you over because you didn't use a signal.
It's not a minor inconvenience, Mitch. Mitch is not a minor inconvenience.
My name is not Mitch. I'm Juan. Mitch is away from the keyboard right now.
All right. Well, I didn't think your sound worked, Juan, because your sound never works.
It is a minor inconvenience. You're not getting your door welded shut to keep you from going outside.
I got you.
You're not gonna disappear.
So what's wrong with the minor inconvenience of me being there with a camera and holding it on it? You're bitching because we're there, giving them a hard time, and they've had such a hard day. We're there with their camera, but it's a minor inconvenience for them to give us a hard time because they want to say we didn't reuse our blinker when we did. And that's
it's not always the auditors that are catching these cops in these predicaments. There are cop watchers that are from a third party standpoint, and they catch police violating people's rights without the people themselves recording. So it's not always, and even if it was, I mean, that's retaliatory if you're just convicting the auditors for whatever the fuck for filming them. But when you got auditors catching people,
you don't have auditors getting arrested and convicted for filming. That's
all right. Well, you do have police getting arrested and convicted for murder, Kate. So you can't ignore that. It's not always minor convictions that these cops are getting charged with. They're getting charged with rape.
No. And that's not what I'm saying either. Okay.
Right.
But let me ask you, you know what? I'm going to open this up to News New England and, and Sassy Assassin. You can answer after he does. Have either of you researched the actual research into the numbers? And what I mean by that is, how many police contacts were there nationwide last year? Of those, how many police-involved shootings were there? Of those, how many were deemed to be unjustified? Have you guys actually done that research yourselves? Either of you. News New England.
No, because hold
on. We'll come back to you.
No,
it's a yes or no question.
I care about my community. That's what I care about.
That's fine, but it's a yes or no question. Sassy, have you done that research yourself?
I have, and I'll tell you this: it doesn't matter what number you come back with. You can't trust the numbers because they're the ones reporting the numbers. It would be like you cannot expect
you use multiple sources. That's why you don't just find one source.
If you are the police, I mean, it's obvious you can't expect the police to police themselves. That would be like the person at McDonald's saying, yeah, I was wrong. The fucking ice cream machine was down.
That police-involved shootings are only self-reported by the police? That's your contention?
No, the internal affairs. It takes a great amount. It takes a great amount of attention for the internal affairs to accurately investigate a crime that the police have done. I will say that.
How do you know that?
Kate, how do I not know that, Kate? Can you prove me wrong on that? I mean, it's look how
do you
hard
prove
it
it
is.
negative?
Okay,
You're the one making the
here's how I
statement.
prove
You
it.
have to prove it.
Look how hard. All right, from these auditor standpoints, look how hard it is to get in some of these cases. Look how hard it is to get a simple complaint form. Much less have a complaint form followed up on. And
that's
if you have them, go ahead.
What I'm asking you for right now is simply you have made an assertion that you are claiming to be factual, right? What is your citation for this factual assertion? What research have you done?
I'm telling you, Kate. Just look. It doesn't. You don't have to look far. You could, like I said, look at the. So then, just look at the auditors trying. You're gonna ask me a question and then interrupt, Kate. Come on now. You're bad as Gary.
Come on, Kate. Let him answer.
You're not answering.
I'm trying to answer, Kate. You just keep talking. All right. How hard is it to get a complaint form against these guys? Am I wrong? I mean, very seldom. It's like a 50-50 chance. Half the time they say they don't even have complaint forms. Half the time they say they do. And if in the event that you do actually get one, most of the time they're policing themselves and they're handing it over to their coworker that they work side by side with every day. All right. So, I mean, it's obvious to see that there's no wonder that there's not much accountability.
I would absolutely say that is factually incorrect because I know for a fact where these internal investigations go, and I am aware of numerous internal investigations that have been triggered by these auditors, and the reason that they don't go anywhere is because 9 times out of 10 they're bullshit.
Unless you work for the Federal Bureau of Investigations, Kate, you're only familiar with if you work for a police department or something in your local area.
But
all right, well then you could not possibly be aware of what happens on a larger scale. You might be familiar with a smaller scale from some source that you have that might be local, but unless you have sources all around the United States, you have no idea.
I do.
Where would you?
I'm not going to interrupt anymore. I was just trying to wait for Kate to stop over talking.
Who's got the TV on in the background, the ringtone and shit?
It's not me. I'm outside. It's probably fucking Gary. Get him off the panel.
I don't have any TVs on or anything.
I don't know, but whoever's on that TV sounds upset.
Did you hear that?
That's either a TV or someone's wife is
Hey, someone's wife is mad. Yeah.
It's probably my wife's in the background here with the TV going. My wife and daughter are over there watching TV, so it's probably my father.
Sounds like the Tiger King in the background.
Oh, some.
Mitch, can you bring Officer Oaken to the panel?
Yeah, is he on now?
You could take me out.
Okay, cool. Oak.
Hey guys, I'm back.
Man. Yeah, hey.
My bad. I wanted to chime in about IA investigations, man. So,
all right, Oak,
for one, the way the auditors.
Right? We're gonna go back to the timer. All right, yep, go ahead.
All right, so the way the auditors asked for for complaint forms is kind of bogus. They're pretty much dicks about it, and the guy wants to figure out like, why the hell do you want one? Who are you? You know, and they don't want to answer, so it prolongs why they don't get a complaint form, and then from there, you know, it's pretty easy to get a complaint form if you just, you know, don't act like a fucking weirdo. And then once you do get the complaint form, I mean, it launches a full-on investigation. They go look at your body cam footage. They bring you in for questioning. They talk to every officer that was on scene. I mean, that's all those guys do. IA doesn't fuck around. They will fire you. It's not like it's like taken lightly. And then it sounded like you said like shootings and stuff aren't reported or something. Like what? Like that shit is reported immediately. I yield.
Oh yeah,
you got a whole nother minute, Officer Oak.
Officer. Okay, so when you're saying that we're being dicks, now I go up to a police station and I'll walk up and I'll simply say, "Do you have any any complaint forms? I'd like a complaint form." So me doing that, as you're saying, is being a dick. I mean,
no, you go in there with a fucking camera and then you fucking start looking at shit and acting real suspicious and like filming
Oh,
like
suspicious.
entryways and stuff, and putting your camera up to like one-way glass.
You've watched me do it?
I've watched a lot of people do it. I'm sure you do it.
Summarizing one person is everyone, then, is what you said, because you've seen someone do it.
I've seen a lot of people do it. I'm pretty sure you do it too.
If I need a complaint form, I'm going to walk up and I'm going to be as nice as I can be because I want the complaint form. I don't want to walk up and have them give me a hard time and send me to some other building. I'll walk up and I'll be nice and simply say I'd like to have an officer complaint form. If they
and then usually they like try to tell you to go online to do it, and then you guys are like, "Well, I don't have a computer, but I've got a fucking cell phone in my hand."
If I ask for a complaint form, and they ask me why do I want that complaint form, I'll simply say to them, I don't need to let you know what I want it for. I'm asking you for a complaint form. Now, I don't think that's being a dick. I don't need to explain to the person sitting at the desk, sitting at the counter, why I want to make a complaint. My complaint is written on the form. If they want to have someone come out and talk to me, they can have someone come out and talk to me. Doesn't mean that I have to tell them what I want it for. I can, and if they ask me my name, the law says I can do a complaint form as anonymously. So I don't know what you mean by someone's being a dick. So having a,
I don't know if the law says that. Maybe like that's like policy, but I don't know if the law says that you can do it.
Whichever it is, it's. I don't need to give my name. I can do it anonymously.
That's not the law. I know in Massachusetts in particular, you have to give an ID because they need to know who to follow up with.
No,
right?
you don't. You do not have to give an ID. You do not have to give an ID to fill out a complaint form. That's a common misconception.
It's not a common misconception.
No, Kate.
Or is
Yes,
that just
ma'am,
a
it
common
is,
thing
Kate.
that auditors say?
No, it's a common misconception. You do not have to. You do not have to divulge. You don't have to sacrifice your Fourth Amendment right to file a complaint form, especially when the police in question might be tyrannical. I mean, who the fuck wants to give their information to somebody they're complaining?
I don't think they're tyrannical. I don't think they're like enslaving people.
Say the police punch me in the face on the slide and say, okay, you can go home. After they just punched you in the face or violated your rights in any sort of way, they violated your rights. Then you have to go to the police station, and the same motherfucker that violated your rights, and for a fact they did, say you got 5 witnesses that can prove that this has happened, and then you got the officer right there trying to take the complaint form. All right, what do you do in that situation? That is the reason that you do not have to identify yourself. I mean,
that's very anecdotal. And
the police cannot police themselves. They're not going to police themselves.
And the other reason why that you don't have to give your name and so forth is I could walk up to that counter and ask for a complaint form. And if I tell them who it is that I'm complaining against, that person sitting at the counter could be best friends with that individual. And I don't want him to know that I'm making that complaint until I've got it all written out and ready to submit. Why do I want him to be forewarned that I'm making a complaint?
It's almost like a formula to keep people from complaining on them by letting the police that violate their rights take the complaint. I mean, it's like asking for the manager at the fucking restaurant, and every problem that you've had has been with this particular person, and you say, well, let me speak to the manager. Oh, well, I am the manager. And it's like, holy fuck, what do I do now?
You always have the option to go to local municipality like city councils and to like, if you're talking to the sheriffs, you can go to the the political your congressman and stuff from there. It's not like it's the buck ends there.
That's not the point. The point is they're supposed to be readily available at the location.
Well, the thing is, what you're saying doesn't make sense because
asking for them because they want
listen, hear me out.
That location. They want to turn it in at that location because that's where the individual works. He doesn't work in City Hall. He works at that location. That's why most of us want to do our complaint forms at the location that he works at. So the supervisor gets to see the complaint form when it goes in. That's why we
hold on, guys. Hold on 1 second. Officer Cannon, thank you. Officer, can you just answer this question for me real quick? We'll get right back to what we're talking about.
Sure.
Yeah, all right, so shit. I just got rid of it. God damn it. Give me 1 second.
Officer Oak, how do you explain?
There it is, right here. Officer Oak, how do you explain officers who get reassigned or they go to the town a few miles from when they got fired when they commit a crime? Just answer that real quick. Sorry.
I mean, at least where I'm at, that doesn't happen. I work in a small area where all the chiefs and sheriffs and everybody knows each other. If you get fired here, your name's dirt. Hell, if you even quit early, like if you went through the academy and then you quit before your 2 years was up for the department, for you to pay back the department for the academy time, then you're probably not going to get hired anywhere because they're going to be like, "Oh, you're a flake, bro." So I mean, I don't think that's true. And usually, if you commit a crime, I mean, you're worthless as a police officer. I mean, like you're not. It depends on the crime you commit, obviously. But if you're deemed a liar or something like that, you really can't be a cop, because if you ever go to court, the attorney is going to figure that out, and they're going to exploit that, and they're going to be like, "Oh, well, you know, Officer so and so has been deemed a liar because he was proven a liar during court case, blah blah blah, at this incident, this time, where he lied about this and he was fired from this department."
Yeah, but usually what ends up happening is the union gets involved, and they ended up negotiating a settlement to where the officer will resign his position, and then nothing goes into his file other than he resigned his position, and they'll go just a few times. This happened here locally, and they'll go to
I've seen that happen.
And get a job somewhere else. So saying that, once you have a problem, no, that's not it.
The reason I took the stance that I took. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Those unions take good care of their people. They're going to make sure that there's a settlement done long before there's any charges that are levied or any court cases, unless it's a serious crime.
The reason I took the stance, not to disrespect the timer on the screen, the reason I took the stance that I took in this conversation is because there was a man that was murdered. His name in my town, Montgomery, Alabama. His name was Gregory Gunn. I had firsthand knowledge that this guy was let to die, and the first responders could not save his life because the police, even after he was disarmed and shot while he was already unarmed, wound up dying at the hand of A.C. Smith, Aaron Smith, police officer Aaron Smith. Yeah, subsequently the officer was sentenced to 14 years in the penitentiary, and he tried his best to get his case moved to a different county and all this other shit, and in the end he only got 14 years. We know damn well if any one of us would have went out and killed an unarmed person and fucked with them for no reason in the middle of the night like they did this guy, then we would have got way more than 14 fucking years, and there's no sense in the shit. His qualified immunity didn't save him these years. I mean, it obviously had to be hookups throughout his community.
I have seen plenty of
Josh Abrams still running around.
I mean, the only reason why is because they were. Kate, I don't understand why you have such a strong stance and want to back these guys that do these things, but this guy committed a murder. He committed a murder.
And I'm not backing that at all. But to then turn around and say, "Oh, if that was anybody else, we wouldn't just get 14 years." That's categorically untrue. You can't say that because you don't know that.
There's drug dealers that get more time than this guy got for killing this innocent man.
Yes, and I have firsthand knowledge, for instance, of an attempted murder case where the guy got 2 years in county jail. 2 years. Not a cop.
I spent 18 years on the fire department, working hand in hand with the police department. We go to nearly every accident scene that there was in our area, and I can tell you that lots of times that police officers make the difference whether or not someone gets charged or whether or not someone gets a phone call and someone comes and picks them up. You know, the police officers have a lot more leeway than what everybody here would like to admit that they do, and they express that leeway when they find it fit. If it's some friend of theirs that's involved in an accident and he's not able to walk very well, I can guarantee you there's been times where, and because I've witnessed it, where people have came in, taken that guy home for him. All right, now that's what got me involved in what I do, is seeing that for 18 years. And when you're in the fire department, you turn stuff like that in, your career's history.
I have a question.
Back then I couldn't do anything. Now I can. Now if I see it, if I know that I can say something. Go ahead.
This timer is so off point. It's not even funny.
Yeah, you
I-
guys
I-
are jumping
So
all
I've
over the place.
I've got a
so.
question for Sassy Assassin.
Go ahead.
What non-violent drug dealer have you ever heard of getting more than 14 years?
Well, you would have to check them. There's so many drug cases across the United States.
But
of
again,
America.
you made the statement. You're the one who's making the statement. It's on you to prove it. It's not on me to prove your statement. You said there are drug dealers who get more than 14 years.
I didn't say it like that. I didn't say it like that. Goddamn.
It was pretty close.
My southern accent's terrible. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I didn't say it exactly like that. But I will say that like Will Blair, everybody brought up Will Blair's probations, and he's facing 4 or 5 years or something like that. I have a cousin that was murdered and killed, and the assailants that committed the crime served 3.5 years each, and they waited 1.5 years before the trial to go to court. And by the court date, some of them already had 1.5 years served, so they only had to serve 1.5 years more. That's only 3 years for committing a fucking murder. So I mean, if you can't, I mean, if we can't all agree that, I mean, it's so easy to Google it and see how many people have gotten way more than 3 years. So I mean, much less these 14 years that this police officer got. And I'll say this: it doesn't. I think police officers have way more power than civilians, and they should be held to a higher standard than us.
By the way, I've never been on probation too. By the way.
I haven't been on probation since
I
I
don't
was
like
a
to
juvenile.
micro focus on that because there are plenty of people with criminal records that are otherwise decent, functioning members of society. There are people with no criminal records that are not. So I don't like to fixate to that. I think that's a misconception that we really zero into the criminal record.
No. The only reason why I asked about
criminal records, so that's why.
Well, yeah, no, but
we're
we disqualify and we don't bring up misdemeanor criminal records or nonviolent criminal records. So we'll go after things like armed robbery, rape, assault. Those things
which is
are
what
serious.
I asked, Kate. I think you were away from the keyboard at that point.
Yeah.
I asked if
but we do not. We don't. If you have a nonviolent drug crime or a jaywalking ticket, like we're not going to. I mean, there are plenty of things. When I look up these guys' criminal history, it's usually if it's 3 to 4 pages long, I might get to half a page before I see things that are just irrelevant. So no, we don't just zero in on the criminal record.
I gotta say,
Sassy has left the building.
Wait, can I bring something up? So Sassy said that his, I guess one of his people that he got killed and the other people that murdered him only got like 1.5 years time served or something. Well, I assume that those other people that murdered him were not cops. So wouldn't that prove our point here that cops?
Yeah, he cell phoned before he took off. That did happen. Yeah.
He says he dropped it. He wants to come back in. Does somebody have the link? I think I still do. Yep. Never mind.
Cool because honestly I got to drop out anyway because it's
okay.
Past
all
my
right.
bedtime.
All right. I just want to check in with Doofy. I want to see if Doofy has anything. I feel bad. Doofy always gets thrown in the back. Doofy, you got anything to say, man? Guess not. No.
He has left the building.
He's been having trouble with his microphone since
right.
Street. So
I just wanted to make sure that he's cool, that he didn't have anything to say. All right, Sassy's back. I'll put Doofy back out then, and then Sassy, you're in. You want to answer what Oak said? Did you hear what Oak said, or were you?
No, I was trying to get back to the stream. I didn't mean to disconnect.
So you had said that one of your friends had gotten killed by some other guys or something like that?
Okay, I caught the end of that. No, it wasn't a cop. It wasn't a cop that killed. It was one of my relatives, if you want to be honest. It was one of my relatives, and no, it wasn't a cop that killed my relative, and they got 3.5 years. And the reason why was because of a plea deal and lack of evidence. I'll give you that.
So
but there was an abundance of evidence in this police officer case, A.C. Smith versus the family of Gary Gunn. If you want to look it up, the city of Montgomery is just giving a settlement to the family, and before then they gave the conviction. And this cop tried everything he could to put off the court dates and try to have it removed and try to have the judges.
Thank you, vilified.
I'm just saying, don't you see how that's anecdotal?
No, I mean it goes to show the same thing that there are murderers that get less time than drug dealers, bro. That's all the only
Yes, but
point I was trying
not
to make.
cops that get less time than drug dealers.
I'm sure that there's some cops that don't even do any time.
Well, that's what I mean. It's anecdotal. It doesn't mean one thing or the other.
It does mean something. I mean, the cops have more pull than the average civilian. They know people within the system. And some of the prosecutors are friends with them and stuff to that nature.
Well,
And
did the
that's
guy
why.
that murdered your family member know people in the system? I'm not understanding.
No, they didn't. But I'm sure the AC Smith did. The guy that killed Gary Gunn did. And the only
Yeah, and
reason I brought up my family member that was murdered is because I'm saying there are people that murder people that get less time than drug dealers.
Yeah, because
we
don't have a cookie cutter legal system. There's extenuating circumstances that apply to every single case. That's why you have a trial. That's why you hire lawyers. That's why there's discovery and evidence and witness testimony. It's not all cut from the same mold and the same cloth. So yeah, obviously there's going to be situations where someone gets what you deem to be a light sentence. But what you're trying to say is that cops are always getting light sentences and that the regular civilians getting a light sentence is the exception and not the rule. And I have a problem with that. I think that's
what happens.
Untrue.
The only time they get the sentence that they deserve is when they fuck up and don't turn their body cameras off when they should, or there's a civilian filming from afar, like an auditor. That's why they don't like the cameras, bro. I mean, they like their cameras because they're in control of them. They don't like our cameras because they can't control them. So you can argue with that all you want. Officer Oak, I'm not gonna throw any shade on you, man. I know you're a pretty good guy. I saw you try to be a pretty good dude to an auditor himself. I witnessed that, and like I said, I don't hate anybody, much less all cops or anything like that. So just like News New England said, don't paint us all with one brush, because it's not always the case. We just want real justice, and there's no sense in cops being protected any more than we're protected, because we're not protected. Y'all have all the connections within your organization to keep you from having the same wrath put upon you as we have put upon us when something happens to us.
I don't know. Through all this talk, I still haven't gotten an answer as to why you're putting the camera in the cops' faces that you do, because like I said, it's not them that's done these things. All right, that still hasn't been answered.
What do you mean by putting the camera in the cops' faces? Because I mean, myself anyway, I'm not going right up and like I've seen some of the auditors do. They're within 10. I mean,
all right. So let me
10 inches from their face. I keep my respectful distance.
So all these all right. So let me rephrase. Yeah. So let me rephrase. All right. Let me talk and let me rephrase.
And I don't carry a camera, Mitch.
I'm not talking to you. So. How about so all these cops that you stick your camera 10 feet away from, okay, which one of these ones that you put your camera in front of have done any of this stuff that you guys are talking about?
A lot of times if we go to a scene and we're standing there filming and a cop doesn't want us filming, the first thing we want to know is why are you not okay with us filming? Most of them have their own body cam, and that's all it should be on.
You're not answering my question.
What's that?
It's a simple question.
Okay.
Which one of these bad police officers that you're talking about, which one have you filmed that has done that stuff?
Well, it may be the next cop that was about to do something fucked up. I mean, that's the whole purpose of auditing. If you don't film them, if you don't film them ahead of time, let them know that somebody's watching. It may prevent somebody from doing something they were gonna do. As long they might have been sitting there thinking for a week straight, I'm gonna shoot the next motherfucker that I get a chance to. Because some of these cops really do, man. They grab their guns when it's not necessary. They unleash K9s on people when it's not necessary. I mean, you cannot sit here and say that these there's people, it only takes 6 months to 9 months to be a fucking police officer, depending on what state you're in. It takes way more time to be a barber or a masseuse or anything like that. They actually have to go to college a lot longer. So a lot of these cops don't even have knowledge of the fucking Constitution or the laws that they're sworn to uphold.
Question.
So
How do you know
accountability is necessary, but it needs to be from a fair standpoint, and I'll say that.
Okay, so how do you know that this cop whose balls you're busting with the camera right now didn't save some lady's life the day before, didn't pull some baby from underneath the dashboard in a car
vice versa,
and vice
versa. How do they know that this next suspicious person or this next suspicious vehicle isn't some type of?
I seem to have lost my sound.
I mean, how do you not know that your next suspicious person call isn't an upstanding citizen though? I mean, seriously, how do you know the next suspicious
serial killers and they're getting away?
No, how do you not know that the next suspicious person call that you get as an officer might be one of your family members that so happened to be doing law-abiding shit?
So you pass someone on the sidewalk. How do you know they're not? How do you know that they're not doing it? You're gonna treat them like shit too? No, you walk by them because they're not a cop.
Do you think you should call the cops on somebody over just walking down the road, something suspicious that they haven't broken any fucking law?
And how do you know that they're cop that you
Can I say something? Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead, Patriot.
Okay, real quick. You guys are talking about filming. You have the right to film. Yes, you do.
I can't believe you've been quiet that long, Gary.
I know. Well, I'm listening, and what I'm hearing is, this argument that, well, we're filming because the cops are filming. Yes, the cops have body cameras. Yes, you have the right to film. But I've heard this excuse many times since you're filming. I have the right to film. When I seen these First Amendment auditors go into the post office, and somebody in line is like, "Why are you filming me? You don't have the right to film me." And they say, "Yes, I do. You're in public." But they always want to say, "Well, look up. You see all these cameras? You're being filmed, so I have the right to be filmed." The problem is the post office isn't taking that video. The cops aren't taking that video, their body cam, their everyday body cam, putting it on YouTube, putting a nice little, title, pushing it on YouTube, and then asking people for donations. That's what First Amendment auditors do. They take every bit of content. It's not video, it's content. The post office isn't taking their video and putting it on YouTube and posting it and then saying, "Hey, make a donation to the United States Postal Service."
Yeah, but why do you do this? He asked a simple question 25 fucking minutes ago. Why do you film police? And this question got twisted and turned, and now you're talking about filming in the damn post office again. Like, here's the thing. Like, you guys trip me out. You get this blinded view.
If I've been in the fucking McDonald's,
Sassy, hold on. This is Jim Walbert.
Yo, you've been talking for a while, bro. I got more state numbers under my belt. I got more state numbers under my belt than the amount of time you've ever done. So if you want to talk about knowing the system, I'm going to tell you about the system. You brought up cops getting more time, right? Child molesters.
Less time, bro.
Less time. Child molesters get less time than DUIs. And you know why? Because in our system, there's two things. There's commonwealths and there's states, right? And in commonwealths, such as Massachusetts and Pennsylvania, we have what's called a prior record score. And every time you commit an offense, whether it's a felony or whether it's a misdemeanor, it precludes points. And through your whole life, you add these points up when you get arrested. So a police officer obviously has no record. He's never been in trouble. Otherwise, he can't be a cop. So when he gets arrested,
that's not true.
Hey, Sassy, let me finish. I'm talking about Pennsylvania and Massachusetts. So it's a commonwealth. That's what I know. A police officer in a commonwealth cannot be a police officer if he's convicted of a felony. He can be convicted of misdemeanors, but he can't be convicted of felonies, and they have to be nonviolent misdemeanors. Secondly, what I'm saying to you is this. When a cop gets busted, in most cases, it's his first offense. In most cases, okay? So when he goes to court, whatever his charge might be, they take into account his prior record score. And there's what's called sentencing guidelines when you live in a commonwealth, okay? Which the district attorney's office must follow. The only person that can go above or below a guideline is a judge, and it's called aggravated and mitigated. And the only way he can do that is based upon the crime committed, whether it was an aggravated offense, all right, whether it was non-aggravated, or they do what's called a pre-sentence investigation, where if you have mental health issues or drug issues, they can mitigate a sentence. So in most cases, when police go up, when they get arrested, it's their first offense. They're going to get a light sentence. They're not going to get the same thing that James Walbert gets when he's got a prior record score of 5 and I commit the same offense. my sentence guidelines become triple and quadruple what his are.
Where's the timer on this guy? This guy don't have a timer.
No, I don't need.
Well,
a timer,
he just
bro.
he just got in. He just got in. So
I
we'll
don't
give him a
need
little bit of
timer.
time.
I sat
Yeah,
and
I
watched
gotta
a
break it back
3.5
out,
hour
I will.
show. And so anyway, that's all I wanted to say was we can't stop getting pigeonholed and blinded. Everybody in the world is not perfect. Cops,
I have a
judges,
question.
everybody's not perfect.
I have a question, real quick.
Go ahead. Ron.
This is for Sassy Assassin and Peanut. I see you jump back in, and New England News. I know you're backstage, but just consider this question when you get back on. So I'm going to assume that none of you guys have undergone any type of police training, right, Sassy?
I would never fucking do that.
Okay, no,
Nothing
just
like
it's a
that.
yes or no. It's a yes or no question. Bro.
No, not
Thank
at
you.
all.
Peanut, have you ever undergone any type of police training?
That's double-edged sword because I'm an advocate, so I don't know how to answer that question.
Have you ever gone to a police academy for training?
I have friends that have been through the police.
That's not what I
academy and
asked.
Police officers.
Have you yourself ever been to a police academy for training? So we're
No,
getting
and
a
I
no
would
and a
never.
no.
Despise.
Okay. So as a civilian, I ask, what makes you feel that you are qualified to assess what is or isn't an appropriate response from a police officer, whether it be deploying a canine, as you referenced earlier, Sassy, or deploying a taser, or ultimately using lethal force? Why do you as a civilian, hold on, just let me finish. Why do you as a civilian feel that you are qualified to make that assessment?
I think it's our responsibility. It's our responsibility as civilians
Hold
to know
on,
the
hold
law.
on. Sassy, go ahead.
I think it's our responsibility as civilians to know these laws and know the extent of the law that allows them to do their job, because the Constitution says it's our job to hold our government responsible for their actions. And whether if you have a tyrannical government and it's your job to assess whether or not your government is tyrannical, domestic or foreign, you have the obligation to regress your government when it comes to these things. So I mean, I think it's your responsibility as a responsible citizen to know if they're acting within their rights and they're within the law. As simple as that.
All right, so I want to add something real quick. I don't know if you guys have seen the video or not, but Kate and I did. No, yeah, after me, Peanut. Hold on 1 second. You know me, I got to talk over you, right? So Kate and I did a virtual training thing with I'm not going to sit here and pretend that that's anything like the real thing, but I tell you what, we did that and I walked away with a huge respect as to situational awareness and what can happen when you least expect it. You know, it's like these split seconds, like Sound Guy was saying, these split second decisions that these guys and girls got to make is just you can't understand it until you try it.
The civilians are way more vulnerable than these officers. They get to go out with guns every day. They're civilians that don't carry guns.
That's bullshit, dude. That's bullshit. More vulnerable. That's absolute bullshit.
Can I just say thank you guys, love you guys, and hey, just let me go on record and say this: I still do not like authority. I still don't trust the cops, but I respect what they do, right? And I don't go out of my way to bother them. If you spend half as much time you put into auditing and worried about what they're doing into a real job, you wouldn't audit anymore. Love you.
Well, I'm not an auditor, and
I mean, dude, I can't.
I've managed to keep a real job, but what I will say is, I've been locked up. There's people in there that you don't want to be locked up with.
Sassy, I can't even believe you can say that seriously. That citizens are more vulnerable against police than police are against citizens. That's asinine.
They're armed. They're armed 100%. They're armed 100% of the time. Citizens aren't.
Right,
there's been
they're
more.
trained.
There's been.
And they're
hold on,
trained.
All right, let me say this. There's been more
to carry that weapon.
How many unarmed police have been killed by armed citizens, and how many unarmed citizens have been killed by armed police?
We
there's
actually
never
had a case of that, Sassy. I'm sorry not to cut you off. We actually had a case of that here not that long ago in Weymouth, was it, Mitch, where a police officer chose not to use lethal force against a quote unarmed suspect,
and he was killed with a rock,
who then took a rock threw it at the officer, knocked the officer out, took his gun, and then killed him with it. So yes, there are incidents where armed police officers are killed by unarmed civilians.
And Peanut,
I
go
had to
ahead.
jump back on. Sorry.
Okay,
Peanut, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, actually, hold on. Kate, you go, and then Peanut, you go.
I need to step in because I have 3 cousins. Actually, all 3 served after 9/11. One served in Iraq and Afghanistan, and they serve in 3 areas of law enforcement. 2 of them are canine officers. So I get it. I'm on both sides of the aisle. I love my family members dearly, but I tell them, don't become YouTube stars. You know, I see officers out there being disrespectful. F this and F that. And I'm older. I'm going to be 59. I don't appreciate the F word being used when being approached. And these young officers are very disrespectful. And I tell my cousins, please don't behave like that. Treat people with respect. Remember, you're on camera. And only you, no one is going to say whether or not you're good or bad, but the video, the camera is going to show you who you truly are. If you're a good person, that camera is going to show that you're a good person. If you're an idiot or a jerk, that camera is going to show that.
So you think the camera shows who Josh Abrams really is?
So I'm on both sides.
Right, but
And
Peanut, you
like
got to
I said,
remember, the
I
camera
just
only shows the narrative of the person holding the camera. When these guys go out,
disagree.
Peanut, listen to me.
That goes for the police too. They have control of their body cams, and they kill body cams all the time.
Sassy, let him. Hold on, everybody, time out. Everyone, time out. Time out.
I disagree with you 100%.
Everybody thinks it's always like when somebody says something, they always think it's like you're putting everybody. I'm not saying everybody does that.
I disagree with you 100%. And
That's
I
not
love
Mitch.
you dearly, but I'm going to disagree with you.
That's not Mitch. That's Jay Wahlberg.
What
All
I'm saying is that what I'm saying to you is that if you hold a camera, right, a silent camera posted on a telephone pole, that camera is going to tell the truth. But when you have somebody behind the camera who is giving a narrative and who is being aggressive and who is changing the dynamic of a situation, then
you've got to have. If you have video without audio, then it's not telling the whole story.
That's not what he's saying.
That's not what I'm saying.
Hold on, let Kate talk, please.
Yeah, you can change the context. So if I approach you aggressively and I don't start rolling until after I have upset you and incited you, and you now swing back at me with some words, you're going to look a lot worse than if the whole context was there. That's what he's trying to say. But what I really wanted to jump back on was to talk about what Mitch was talking about. Because when we're talking about the police training and the use of force, we were invited to do the FATS training system with the Pawtucket Police. They were very kind to, and this is a virtual training system that they employ in departments all over the country. And it was one of the most elucidating experiences of my life, because you don't understand as civilians, and I don't fully understand after one time of doing this, the kind of split-second decision-making that these guys are making out there. And what they do is they take real-life scenarios that have actually happened on the field, and they have you play through the scenario, and you need to decide whether or not you're going to shoot, whether you're going to deploy your taser, or whether you're going to do nothing. And there was one instance where I thought that someone with a gun was approaching us. I shot the guy in the, actually I think Mitch shot him in the head, but we were shooting at him. Turns out he was completely unarmed. We had no way of knowing that he was unarmed. And when someone's approaching you like that, it looks like they're going to shoot. So you shoot first. There was another incident where we weren't paying attention. The guy had a gun to his own head. We were more concerned with getting that gun away from his own head, and we kept letting him approach us. He shot us dead because we chose not to use force. There was another...
Kate, I'm going to put this scenario to the point where I believe every law enforcement officer should have minimum of 2 years of military training. I truly believe that, because in the military training, they're not going to shoot as easily as someone who's only had 6 months in the academy.
But that's not the point. And first
It
of all,
is
that's
the
not.
point. It is
But
the point.
the
Because
point
you have
of this
too
is
many
that
young
these
officers
scenarios
out there
are so
shooting their
split
guns when
second,
they shouldn't be.
and then they're
Can I can I interject?
not
Yeah.
shooting
Oh,
when they should have.
oh, go ahead.
So I'm gonna tell you all a real life story when I was a rookie, and a big mistake that I made on my part. I wound up living through it, thank God. But
You're a cop?
I mean, I am, yeah.
Okay.
And
You tell me
can
that
I finish my story,
military
please?
experience.
Let him talk.
If
Peanut,
you
let him
have
talk.
military experience,
You can mute her,
they
Mitch.
Yeah, I'm
did
about to.
give you learned.
Well, I have military experience as well, but can I finish this story, please?
You learned.
Let him finish, Peanut. Let him finish. Everybody,
So,
let you finish.
So, anyways, I went to a call to a. I went to a call.
Have you had military experience?
All right, she's out.
Thank
It's
you.
not that hard to take a simple suggestion. All right, go ahead, Oak.
I went to a call to escort a lady to go get some property from her house after she had a domestic the night before. And I knocked on the door, and the husband was there, and he threw himself against the door, and I like he was on dope. And I was like, okay, you know, like it's not illegal to use really, but it's legal to possess. I'm not too worried about him being, you know, under the influence of something. He's acting kind of strange. She just wants to get her stuff so she can go. That's my main thing now. And he doesn't want to let her in. But I'm like, dude, you know, she lives here too. She's got to go in and get her stuff. You know, she doesn't want to be here no more. And he slams the door in my face. He goes back inside, and I see through the window. I see him go in the kitchen, and he picks up what looks to be a frying pan. Well, I start stepping back because he's coming back towards the door, and I pull out my taser. You know, because I figured if he's got a frying pan, no big deal, you know. Well, the door comes flinging open. I point my taser at him because I knew he had something, and it turned out it wasn't a frying pan. It was two big ass steak knives. And he had them like he was gonna fucking come at me. Now, if I had tased him and he decided to want to come at me on meth, you know, like I don't think that would have stopped him. I think he would have stabbed me to death. I should have had my gun out, you know, 100% hands down. Thank God I was intimidating enough that the laser and the taser and me yelling at him to put the stuff down, you know, scared him. He put it down, and I was able to apprehend him and get it handled there. But I mean, like I could have got stabbed to death that day. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If he really wanted to, I think he could have walked through my taser and got me. You know, I mean, and that was when I was a rookie. Now I know better, but it just goes to show. And yes, Peanut, I do have military experience. I did 5 years of military police.
Can I ask Officer Oak a question?
Sure.
How many times in your career have you had to fire your taser or to pull your gun out of your holster?
It depends. I couldn't tell you an exact number. Every other day for some weeks.
Yeah, I mean, news now. You're talking like when he's clearing a building and he's got it out. Then are you talking like he needs to do it to stop someone from coming out?
Because there's a threat in front of him, not because there's a perceived threat inside the building. I mean that there's been someone directly in front of him that he's had to pull the taser and deploy it, or had to pull the weapon and thought that he was going to have to use it. How many times? Because the reason I'm asking is because Kate and others have said about how, you know, we don't know what it's like to be in position of where, you know, in a split second decision. You know, that's not something that happens every day. That's not something that happens every week.
Well, I've had to pull my gun out quite a bit, just not at people always. I mean, sometimes I have to clear a building. Sometimes
exactly.
Somebody presents some sort of threat that may be there. People are want to suicide by cop. I mean, that happens quite often where I'm at. Well, they want to. They haven't been successful yet, thank God.
But it's not.
I would say probably about 10, 15 times I've had to pull my gun where I thought I may actually use it. And the rest, I mean, hundreds of times that I've pulled it and, you know, just for safety, you know, because I may have to use it, but like, you know, 50-50, I mean, you never know though. I mean, I was going there to do an escort. I had no idea that was going to happen.
Now, would you say that a
Officer,
fireman
I'd
looking
like
at a
to ask
building
you
that
a very
that's
serious
ablaze
question.
and
Hold on, Peanut.
having
Right
When
after that,
you've
right? Oh my God.
approached or been in a situation where it's suicide by cop, how many of those individuals were mentally ill or have been on numerous medications?
I don't know their medication state. Or I'm not
There's
trained.
not
to-
usually time to
The
ask
reason
that.
why I'm bringing that up is I've been an advocate for the prevention of suicide since 2000.
Oh yeah,
And
I've stopped probably 10 or 15 of them. People with
yeah,
guns to their head.
yeah. And I have friends who are law enforcement who put a gun to their head. So I understand suicide by cop. I understand it deeply. But I think what law enforcement and y'all are being given probably very terrible information. And you are at risk as a law enforcement officer. You are at risk when someone is suffering a psychotic reaction to a medication. And
Yeah, or drugs.
But yeah, or drugs. But I'll defend you to the heel. If an individual is having a psychotic reaction to a medication, you have to defend yourself because their goal is to kill you. So
yeah,
I'm not defending. Everybody thinks that oh, don't do this and don't do that, and
the scary thing about it is, Peanut, is you don't know
it's scary.
who's on
It's
what.
scary.
You don't know.
I dealt with it.
Well, hang on, let me finish.
I love you, Walbert.
I love Mitch.
You don't know.
Peanut. What is it? I love Mitch.
Oh, he's got more. He's got more. Hold on. What does he say? Peanut.
Who is that?
That's my man, Jay Walbert, right there.
You guys see all the dogs?
So you don't know what they're on or what they're planning. You may go up to them thinking that they're having some sort of medical condition, and they may have every intent to kill you, or they may snap and all of a sudden have an intent to kill you.
And I agree, you have every right to defend yourself.
You never know what's going to happen.
No argument for me on that one at all.
And now throw in the mix unstable people with cameras coming up on your scene when you're trying to divert your attention from what you're doing. When I say unstable, I mean people who are cursing at you and being crazy.
You know what? I gotta respect the game right there. Sorry, Officer Oak, I don't mean to cut you off.
All right,
I gotta respect the game of throwing up the PayPal.
Finish up your final
that's
thoughts.
so funny.
Listen, guys, listen.
Who's
Listen.
that dude
Oh
in
my
the
God,
middle?
Peanut, listen to me. Oak, finish
Who
up your
is
final.
that dude in the middle?
Jesus
He's actually
Christ.
quite handsome, but anyway.
Peanut, let Oak finish up his final
No,
thought.
but
Peanut, we'll
seriously,
go.
I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
And the role of medications.
Oh, good God.
Okay. I'm sorry, guys. I tried like 4 fucking times.
Sweet
All right,
merciful
Oak,
Christ.
please finish up your final thoughts. Walbert, we'll go to you. And Jay Diver, I want to hear from you real quick, and then we're gonna wrap it up.
Pretty much that's it. You never know when somebody's under the influence of medication or narcotics. They could easily just flip. You don't know what's going to happen. You could be talking to them 1 second, the next second they're trying to snatch your gun from you, or they're trying to stab you. You don't know. It's happened. It's happened to me. I yield.
Right, and that's the thing. Not that I'm in any position to say like I have any type of experience in dealing with this, but as a person who respects the job that you do, I recognize that you can't sit there and try to assess, okay, is this person coming at me having a mental episode? Is he on drugs? Is he suicidal? Or is he just a violent person? Like, you don't have time to make that assessment on scene, regardless of your training. If someone's coming at you with a weapon, you have to react to preserve your own life and to preserve the life of other people, other innocent bystanders, etc. So, yes, sometimes police get it wrong, whether it's because they're bad at their job, whether it's because they got nervous, whether it's because they were poorly trained. People are human. But this narrative that, cops are just trigger happy thugs going around looking for somebody to shoot, for sport is just ridiculous. And that's going to be my final thought on this.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Naga.
and,
All right, Walbert.
I just wanted to say, thanks for having me on. I'd love to do a show one day with you, Mitch. Something to do with prison or drugs or anything like that, I'd be down to do.
Yeah, cool.
And yeah, guys, if nobody told you they loved you today, you're hanging with the wrong people. And if you want to help me, right?
Let's see. What has he got now?
If you want to help me get my new PC.
Oh, yeah, get the PayPal.
That's for my new PC, Jewalbert77 at PayPal. I'm telling you what I'm getting, a PC, not drugs. PC.
I love the game.
Hey, listen, let me tell you something quick. Watch
PC,
it.
not PCP.
What's he doing?
Hey, guys, when you get your life together, right, you don't need to worry about things. I've been on this for a long time, right? A long time.
What has he been on?
Got my life straight. Over 7 years.
Are those Taco Bell packets?
No, I think that was
just put your mind to it.
I think that was.
That's all. Love you guys, man.
All right,
is that mustard?
No, I think that. Is that Suboxone or something? Or
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. Thanks for being on, man. I appreciate it. All right, NJ Diver. Let's hear from you real quick. Then we're gonna wrap it up.
Well, I came.
Sorry
in
for the
late,
hold up.
No problem. I came in late, so I wasn't really apprised of.
Yeah, we're going over 3 hours now, so.
That's all right. I was in another another panel, but
you were cheating on us.
I didn't know you were on.
Every Sunday at 7, sir.
Yeah, I know. The trick is everyone's different. You're dealing with human beings. You're dealing with possibly mentally ill. You're dealing with people that are emotional, that are enraged, and the potential is there for them to do anything. Now, I've never been in the presence of someone taking a taser, for the lack of a better word, electronic control device, but I've seen some on video, and I have to wonder that as long as it's placed and used properly, that should be your first choice.
Thank you, Lair. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Diver. Yeah, I mean, I've never been in that situation either. Like Kate said, we did that virtual training, and that's virtual. We're looking at a screen in a safe police building. And I can't imagine what they go through, and I don't think it's anyone's right to judge that until they do.
One thing I do know about the electric control device is it'll be lethal to me.
Yeah. All right. And that's. Yeah.
Heart condition.
Pacemaker, right?
Pacemaker, Diver.
No, CHF with a left branch bundle blockage.
Oh, okay.
I'm not familiar with that. Sorry, I'm not a doctor, and I don't play one on TV. But I wish you good health.
Yeah. All right, Diver.
Hold my own.
Yeah. All right, Diver. I don't mean to cut you short. Definitely come on some other time when we get some more time to talk. But I appreciate you coming on. Man,
over 3 hours tonight, Mitch, and we still got we still got close to 200 people watching. So
yeah, we held it strong.
Thank you. Yeah, we thank you to everybody who tuned in tonight and listened to this nonsense, and thanks to everybody who joined us. Officer Oak, we appreciate you. Sergeant Doofy, sorry you couldn't get your stuff working.
Let's see if you can remember everyone that was on tonight.
News New England, thank you. Sassy Assassin, thank you. People's Patriot, thank you very much. James Walbert, we appreciate it. Peanut 411, thank you so much. And Natalie for leading off as our first guest. I think I got everybody.
Yeah, I think you did too. But no. There was Puma Tits, but Puma Tits was sassy. Puma Tits was sassy.
Oh, okay, all right, cool.
You got Patriot.
How could I forget a name like Puma Tits though?
I know. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in.
All right,
thank
you
to
you guys.
all those who donated too. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for the donations.
Murphy, you're a beast.
Yep. And Mitch, we're going to do Tuesday Night Trash Talk this week again at 10 o'clock on Tuesday night, right? 10 p.m. Eastern. Yep. So tune in for that. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you do that. Click like on this video at the bottom of the screen and leave us some love in the comments or some hate in the comments. Every critique, we take it to heart. We assess it. We just want to keep getting better at this. So if you've got a criticism, don't be shy. Let us know.
Yeah, definitely hit that like button if you haven't on your way out. And if you haven't subscribed to us, do that. I want to do this again. This was a good stream tonight. I had fun.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Have a good night.